Alright, welcome to the late March edition of Movie Monks. I'm not sure what day it's gonna go up, so...
Well, it is the 22nd. We're probably gonna look at, I don't know, maybe the 24th or 5th.
Okay. I'm Brother Nathan. I'm joined by Brother Paul.
Brother Paul, yeah.
In the monastery. And, I don't know. I enjoy keeping that train rolling. We have a lot of stuff, obviously, because we haven't had an episode in a while. But, we're gonna try to gloss over some of them and get to some news as well later, but
something important quickly, where you changed hosting, that's why there was some technical issues, and we're on iTunes now, so, yeah.
Oh, great. So, bigger platform for this podcast to get out there.
Right, exactly, and maybe in the show notes I'll put the link to subscribe or something, I don't know, we'll see.
Okay.
And as you can tell, I've been sick for a while, so I apologize that my voice sounds kind of weird and shaky, but there it is, just putting it all up front.
Okay. I guess I'll let you kick it off again, just because I feel weird just stealing the spotlight immediately, so I'm just gonna say, Hey, what was the first movie you've seen in the last, 10 days or whatever?
Okay, well, one of the big highlights, actually, for me, has been, I got a new TV and system and stuff.
It's like 50 inches?
55-inch 3D TV. So, the first night, obviously, I tried the 3D out, and it's 3D. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
What did you test it on?
I did a bunch of video games that maybe you've heard of, but we don't talk about games here. With the TV, I got Shrek, the complete collection in 3D. Like all 4 movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch all 4 Shrek movies?
No, I just watched some of one. Because I like the first one.
Alright. Fair enough, I guess. John Lithgow, so.
Yeah, exactly. I got Monsters vs. Aliens 3D for $10 at a pawn shop. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Coraline, because I really like that movie.
That's a good movie. I have that one.
Yeah. Anyways, the reason I say this is I'm trying to still get used to it because since it's a newer TV, it's a higher refresh rate and frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
So everything looks like a BBC or camcorder production. Like everything.
It's too real or something, or what?
Well, because it's at 60 frames a second instead of the usual 29.97 or 30 that we're used to.
Oh, weird.
And it's so weird. Like, the most disturbing thing, I think, is that we've been conditioned all this time to see everything at half the speed of real life. To, get a movie feel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of weird. But anyways, everything I've watched looks like it was, home movies, and it's kind of trippy, to say the least.
Okay.
The first movie I saw that wasn't 3D was X-Men Origins Wolverine. I don't like it.
Oh, okay. What do you think's wrong with it?
No, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. It's
okay.
The CG looks terrible in some parts. Some parts, it's not a bad movie, but I don't know. His claws look so bad in a lot of parts. It's just so gross. A lot of things I thought were kind of sloppy. I don't know.
You're in the majority. I'm just one of those weird people that saw it 3 times.
Okay, well maybe I should ask you what's good about it.
Hugh Jackman's in it a lot. So
yeah, and he is good.
Yeah, it kind of helps a lot. And I don't know, it's just a super straightforward, dumb revenge movie, kind of, with a twist at the end, maybe. And Danny Houston has a big gun that shoots adamantium bullets, so, I mean...
So
I don't know. I had a low standard for it, I guess, but it did all I wanted it to.
Okay, well, I'll bring up a counterpoint and say Ryan Reynolds. That's all.
He slices that bullet though.
Yeah, I can't stand him. But to be fair, he is in it for maybe 15 or 20 minutes total. So I can't even fault it for that.
Do you like Deadpool and you were annoyed how they interpreted him or something? Because that's a common complaint.
No, I couldn't care less. What I don't like, I'll be the first one to say, growing up I was a Spider-Man kid. My best friend is an X-Men fan, and he knows everything about all their origins and blah, blah, blah. I kind of don't. So, This could be or could not be like really close to the comics. I don't care. I just was in the mood for a good movie. And really, I got kind of a good movie. I just, I don't know, there was so many technical aspects that threw me off. And again, I was still getting used to this frame rate and stuff. Like, it was a weird experience. I might
Okay.
watch it again. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it, sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's always good.
Yeah, he makes up for most of it. Like it's a super simple movie and it's not really special, but I thought it got unfairly kicked around
How
because
crappy was it that those people that took him in got killed? Like, wasn't
oh,
that
in that
heartbreaking?
farmhouse or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, the
Yeah,
farmhouse. That was heartbreaking.
I kind of don't remember. Is it pretty clear that they just die or what?
Well, yeah,
Like,
they were like being all nice to him, and he was on the motorcycle, and they're like, "That's a good look for you. Here's my son's jacket," and blah blah blah. And then she comes in with lemonade or something and
uh
sandwiches or
huh.
something, and she just drops dead. They shoot her.
Oh,
So like,
yeah. I guess
wow,
that is kind of harsh. I kind of forgot about that, but yeah, you're right.
yeah.
That's okay. I
So
like Liev Schreiber in it too, though.
yeah, he
He's
does
all
a
right.
really good saber tooth actually.
A lot more personality than that big giant dude in the first movie. Like,
Well, I mean, he had no personality in that.
yeah,
But
Miles Myers.
anyways, yeah, a thing I think also kind of threw me off is I bought this movie because I buy movies more than I rent usually. I don't know why,
Oh, okay.
but
See, I
this
liked
was
it
one that I
kinda,
really
but
wanted to see. And usually when I buy movies instead of rent, I mean like I buy the $5 bin movies because I don't care what I watch usually.
hmm.
This was a $34 movie.
What are you
I
doing?
couldn't find it for cheaper, and when I found it,
Oh,
I was like, fine, whatever.
like on Boxing Day last year, I saw it for like $10 on Blu-ray, and I was like,
And see,
you
for
know
ten
what?
bucks that would be fine,
No.
but for what I paid, I don't feel I got anywhere near the quality.
Okay, I'm just saying I didn't even pay $10 for it, and I kind of liked it. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
so take that as you will, audience, I guess. So what
That's
was
unfortunate.
what kicked off this last like week and a half of nothing for you?
Okay. Just I'm gonna. Okay. I just want to mention it. I watched the commentary for Tristram Shandy, so that happened, and I enjoyed it, and now I now own that movie. Then I watched Marie Antoinette, continuing the Steve Coogan
Okay, what do
marathon.
you think of that movie?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it got kicked around quite a bit too, but I don't know.
Because
It has moments.
I hate Marie Antoinette. I think she's terrible, like the person,
The,
and I don't like Kirsten Dunst at all.
have you not seen the movie, or
What do you mean?
like, did you see Marie Antoinette, the film, or
No, I'm
movie
talking
equivalent?
about like the real person that you learn
No, I
about
know.
in.
I'm just like, did you watch this movie?
No, this is what I'm
Okay,
kind of asking because I hate Kirsten Dunst
because
and I don't
like,
like Marie Antoinette the person.
okay, well, this movie is trying to kind of get behind the scenes and explain like why Marie Antoinette was depicted as she was by in history and stuff, which was kind of interesting. Like they make her somewhat sympathetic, and you know, the society and everything is kind of what led her to
Right.
appear, super frivolous and everything. Um, I don't think I hate Kirsten Dunst. She's kind of cute, and she's just walk around in pretty clothes in this movie, which is fine.
But that's
But
like her role in everything. She's just put in to walk around in pretty clothes because she can't act.
these are really, elaborate dresses this
These
time,
are
so
really
it's
pretty dresses.
like I checked and it won best costume design, which absolutely makes sense because there's just like that's almost the star of the movie. There's just this incredibly lavish clothes everywhere. So if you're into that, I guess check it out.
I
But
can honestly say I'm not.
yeah. Other than that, like it's kind of got some weird comedy elements in it, I guess. Jason Schwartzman plays kind of this super nervous king guy.
Well,
Who
doesn't he play Louis
yeah,
16 or
he's
whatever?
King Louis, and he kind of just refuses to have sex with his wife because he's just spooked out, and that causes some scandal in the royal world,
Right.
because you gotta have kids, you gotta have a
You gotta
heir or
keep
something.
the bloodline going.
Yeah, so if you're not, like, what are you doing? So a lot of the movie's kind of concerned with that, and then it kind of ends weirdly abruptly, like kind of before the dark, messed up business happens with the French Revolution. Like that stuff just starts to begin happening. Then they leave the palace at Versailles, and then it's over. And it was kind of weird.
And that's like, you know what happens next.
I guess so. Like they kind of wanted to end on a more positive note, I guess, but it was kind of weird because that's the part of the story kind of everybody knows. But maybe that's why. Steve Coogan showed up more than I was expecting, so I was happy with that. He's kind of this ambassador guy, and he pops in every now and then. And I was like, yeah. But I guess overall, it's a kind of a slow movie. I can see why a lot of people didn't like it, but I don't know. It was okay.
Asia Argento's in it.
She is, like, for a while. Are you a fan, or?
Yeah, I love her. I don't think she's a great actress, so.
Okay. Her dad's kind of a, I don't know, weird director.
Yeah, I absolutely love Dario Argento's stuff.
Okay.
I was actually meaning to watch Suspiria. I should have done that.
You haven't seen that?
Oh yeah, multiple times I own it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just, because that's kind of the one, as far as I know.
It's the one.
Yeah, that's the one movie
It's the Neo.
that matters to him. Oh, sorry. My cat's being weird. And then I saw this movie called Petulia, which was directed by Richard Lester, who nobody really knows about. He's the guy that ended up working on Superman 2 when Richard Donner left.
Oh, okay.
That's probably his most like notable thing. And he also directed some Beatles movies and stuff in the 60s.
Yeah, he did A Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, apparently this movie was like really influential on Steven Soderbergh, which is why we watched it. I didn't really like it. It's set in like the near future, I guess, and George C. Scott is this doctor who's kind of just relentlessly hounded by this weird girl played by Julie Christie. And I don't know, it kind of flashes forward and shows you out of context stuff before it happens, which is kind of the main thing Soderbergh took from it. But as a movie, I just didn't really care about the story, and it kind of ran out of fun after a while. It's not that great, despite being well regarded in some circles, I guess. But I didn't really fancy it. But whatever. No, nobody knows about this movie, so no sense talking about it. What was the next thing you saw?
Oh, next thing, Unbreakable. Are you a big fan of?
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I was thinking Unstoppable for some reason, just because that's.
No, I've been meaning to watch that. I kind of want to. So
it's all right. I'm probably more of a Shyamalan apologist than most people.
Yeah. Yeah, I find myself in the same boat.
I really don't like Lady in the Water. There's no excuse for that movie. That's just a bad movie.
But it has Paul Giamatti.
I know, but
it's like the only good thing about it.
Yeah. To be fair, I only saw it once, but it just did nothing for me at all.
Anyways, yeah. 10-year-old movie, I think. 10-year-old movie. Basically about real-life superhero ideas. Kind of. With hey, get this, a twist ending. Well, sort of. You kind of see it coming, more so than his other ones. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really good movie. It holds up really well. And I like Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson a lot, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember it being okay.
It's kind of hard to remember some, like, specific things about it. It's kind of cool when he's in the train station, and he's, like, sticking his arms out to, like, find someone to help or something, and he sees all these people's dark pasts.
Doesn't water have some negative effect on him or something?
Yeah, but I mean, like all Shyamalan movies, there's water is, like, the cure or the thing that, like, it's a main plot thing, and car crashes.
Like in Signs or whatever, yeah.
In every single one of them, pretty much.
Oh, man. Car crashes, you're right. I'm just thinking back on, like, Devil and stuff, even, which he wrote.
Yep, exactly. So, like,
all right.
Yeah. I don't know, that's one I found for cheap, and I had to buy that one, and that's why I watched it. It's a really good movie.
Okay. I saw Cedar Rapids, which...
Again, right?
No, for the first time. I think I might have checked in twice for sticker purposes on GetClue, but I saw it once.
What do you think of it?
It's all right for the first hour maybe, but then it kind of gets it maybe tries to be a little more serious than it ought to in the last bit, and it kind of just stops being funny. And
Like
I don't
preachy
know.
serious or what?
No, not even like it's weird. Like the movie kind of reminded me of Up in the Air in that it's dealing with like business professional people who are kind of in middle age and crises and whatever. With a little more of a comic slant than that movie because John C. Riley's in it and stuff. But it just kind of gets like dudes with conflicting morals and whatever. Like the main character played by Ed Helms is like super uptight about everything, and the movie's kind of about him learning to loosen up and have fun with life and stuff,
Oh, it's
which
one
is
of those
fine.
movies.
Yeah, it is, but it's done okay. But yeah, just something about it in the last like half hour, I just got really disconnected from it and kind of stopped
And then
having
is
fun.
John C. Riley the like fun-loving, never takes anything seriously cohort that he meets up with?
Yeah, he's one of the like he's
So
super
you're saying
suspicious
this is
of him.
Dharma and Greg?
I'm unfamiliar with Dharma and Greg
Yeah,
entirely.
and
I'm
as
happy to
well
say
you
so.
should be. Anyways, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. This looked really good because I like Ed Helms and John C. Riley. Would you
Mhm.
recommend I check it out? Maybe.
Like overall, it's okay. Like it's an okay movie. I get why it's been reasonably well received and stuff, but it's not really anything that stands out that much. It's
All
all
right.
right.
Cool.
And Sigourney Weaver was in it, which was weird.
And
Which is one
Rob
of two
Corddry.
movies. Rob Corddry's barely in it, and he's like super. He's just like an angry jerk in it. Like he doesn't do anything funny, which is too bad because I've grown to like that guy because of Hot Tub Time Machine. But yeah, you don't really get any of that business in this movie. So
That's kind of too bad.
yeah, I know. Like he was in the trailer, and I was like, oh sweet, that's another cool thing. And oh, and also I guess this is kind of the return of Anne Heche, and she isn't awful, so that's a thing, I guess, right?
Has she ever really been awful though? Like she has movies that she's done
Volcano.
that are kind of crappy, but like I don't think she's ever been terrible.
I don't know that Psycho remake. She's not.
Yeah, that was kind of like doomed from the start though.
I know, but in a kind of entertaining way. But I don't know.
I really
I
like that movie, kind of.
I own that movie because it's just such a bizarre like experiment. I
And
guess you
it's
could
like
say
99 cents at places.
it's easy to find too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or fine. I guess she's maybe slightly better than mediocre. Maybe. Maybe.
I can agree
Maybe
with this.
in this movie in Cedar Rapids. I mean, I haven't ever really taken a shine to her ever before, but she has some moxie here. I guess it's all right. It's a short movie too, like 90 minutes. But yeah. And then I watched Eddie Murphy say horrible things for like an hour and a half in
On
Raw.
Netflix there.
Yeah, which I kind of want to see Delirious now because apparently that's the where the real business is at.
Yeah,
But
Delirious is really good.
parts of Raw were kind of alright, but overall, I don't know. Like he just kind of rags on women for like an hour and 10 minutes, and then he has this really funny story about his family growing up, and then it's over. So
Nice.
yeah, but I don't know. Just kind of going back and seeing Eddie Murphy when he was a big deal is kind of interesting now.
Yeah, because he's really not anymore. Actually, his brother is the one that's funnier.
Nowadays,
I think so. That guy's
what's his
hilarious.
brother's name? Who's his brother?
Charlie Murphy.
Okay, I will look this up while you talk about what's next.
All right,
Don't
the
worry, I'm
next
listening.
one, it's one recommended to me by the internet, actually. I mean, not like saying, hey, you should check this out and review it sort of thing, but like, hey, this movie's really good. And it's Idiocracy.
Oh, okay.
Mike Judge movie. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking for something. I don't own it or anything. I was just on the Xbox Zune Marketplace. A little plug
Mhm.
there for the little guy, you know. Um, anyways, yeah, I don't like that movie. It's not good. Mike
Okay.
Mike Judge is kind of hit or miss because I love Office Space. I liked like some of the Beavis and Butthead stuff, but like I don't know. I hate King of the Hill. Like I didn't like this movie very much. He's just hit or miss with a lot of stuff for me. I think the problem with it is it's a decent premise, but I don't think they went as crazy with it as they could have. Luke
It's supposed to
Wilson,
be like a satire of the future or something, right?
right?
Or is it
Basically, the
like
idea
human
is,
being?
this guy is like a completely average Joe Schmo guy working in the army doing paperwork, and they assign him to do this like thing where they put you in like a pod or whatever, this program, and they put you in hibernation so you can like stay in your state for like a long time or whatever. And it was only
Okay.
supposed to be for a year. Instead, they do it for 500 years because they go out of business or something. I don't know. It's
Okay. So it's
something
kind of
dumb.
like Forever Young,
Right. And the basic yeah,
if you remember that movie. But anyway,
yeah, we don't have to get into
Netflix
that.
seems to think I'll really like this movie, so I don't know.
Which one?
Idiocracy. It's like,
Idiocracy?
hey man, 4 stars for you is what we're
I don't
thinking.
know. Like, you can check it out. The problem, okay, you know how on the Zune Marketplace you can see previews of what you're gonna buy for the 2 days or whatever, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, all the funny parts were in the preview. Like, this is one of those movies, and I literally mean every part I would chuckle at was in the preview, so it got me good. It got me in.
Oh.
Um, so yeah, anyways, he wakes up 500 years later, and the basic premise is that, uh, smart people overthought, like, everything. So they would say stuff like, oh, the economy is not good, it's not right to have a child again, blah, blah, blah. Whereas stupid people were people like in trailer parks just having sex all the time, so they multiplied and everybody's an idiot now
Okay.
in the world. So like this average guy is actually like a genius. And
In comparison, yeah. Okay.
right, yeah, exactly. Um and yeah, that's the whole thing. Like he wakes up in the future, they get scared because he's too smart. Some stuff happens. Terry Crews is a president, which is amazing.
Okay.
Um, and then yeah, he like runs stuff. I guess at the end, I can't remember. Like I don't know. I was half falling asleep too. I can't stand this movie. It's so bad.
Okay. Like there's just no momentum to it. It just kind of floats
Right.
along and drifts on this
Exactly. It
one
floats along.
premise.
It
Yeah.
never for like how funny it could be in theory. Like I mean, an average guy going into the future where everyone's an idiot, that could be
Mhm.
hilarious. They don't take it where it needs to go, and it's really kind of disappointing. I,
Uh,
it's not even a bad movie. It's just disappointing. That's a better word for it.
okay.
So, yeah, what's your next one?
Coffee and Cigarettes, which was my first Jim
Yes.
Jarmusch movie. Um, it's all right. It's like a collection of short films. Like, have you seen it or?
No, I've been meaning to. Tom
Okay,
Waits is
it's
in it.
yeah. Tom Waits is in it. Him and Iggy Pop kind of hang out and drink some coffee and smoke some cigarettes. Despite they've quit, but they've quit, so they can totally smoke and it won't matter.
Right.
It's weird. Yeah, collection of short films, some of which were pretty great. My favorite, of course, Mr. Steve Coogan and Mr. Alfred Molina kind of get together, and some funny business happens.
Okay.
It's like everyone's kind of playing weird versions of themselves, which is kind of cool. Fits right into the Michael Winterbottom stuff I was watching last week with Steve Coogan playing himself in a way. His bit's pretty great. Kate Blanchett's pretty great. She plays two versions of herself, kind of like a cousin of herself, but she plays that cousin as well, who's kind of envious of her movie star cousin. It's all right. And then
Wow,
Bill
that's
Murray
kind of
shows up.
complicated.
Yeah, and then Bill Murray shows up at the end and kind of drinks coffee with the RZA and Jizza.
Oh,
Is
that
that
means
the
it's
other guy?
amazing because Bill Murray makes everything better.
Kind of, yeah. It's just weird. It's just him with a full pot of coffee, just drinking right out of it, and that's kind of great. But then some of them are just kind of whatever, like super low key. Like I didn't like the first one. It has Roberto Benigni and some guy I've never heard of. And I'm not the biggest Benigni guy. Am I saying that right? Benigni?
Um, I'm just trying to
Life is
think.
beautiful, dude. But yeah. Um. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know how you would say that, honestly.
doesn't matter. So yeah, not much to say there. It's some of it's good, some of it's whatever, but overall I thought it was all right. And then I watched this movie called Point Blank, which is this revenge
Hmm.
movie from the '60s. It's John Borman actually who directed Deliverance, which you watched last week.
Mm-hmm.
There's some cool stuff to it. Lee Marvin is just like this really kind of angry, intense guy who wants his money from a deal that he got
Oh,
screwed over.
I'm sorry. You said Point Blank.
Yeah.
I thought you
Not
said Point Break.
No, not that movie.
Okay, sorry.
John Borman has nothing to do with
I'm on
Point
board
Break.
now. Okay, go.
Okay. Point Blank, there were elements to it that kind of reminded me of some Coen-y kind of business later and stuff, but it's kind of a low energy movie for a lot of it. It's slow going for the most part, but there's some okay stuff to see. So yeah, decent movie, and Lee Marvin is kind of one note as just an angry guy, but that's kind of what he does. So
He does it well.
yeah, he's pretty good at it, and yeah, people get shot, and it's kind of funny in a weird way. Like they do kind of get into this interesting kind of the never-ending cycle of people screwing each other over in the world of crime, which was kind of a neat idea. Like the dude who's hired to take care of Lee Marvin because he wants money, then kind of gets screwed over out of his money, which kind of is a little, I don't know. There's some funny stuff in there. But yeah, so I saw that, and it's all right.
Cool.
And that was another one that Soderbergh apparently was a big fan of, so that's why I watched it. What's next on your list?
Okay, not this week, obviously, but last week, 2 movies that I've been wanting to see came out, Hereafter and The Fighter. So, a little foreshadowing, I'll be talking about The Fighter next. But anyways,
Okay.
I saw Hereafter. Clint Eastwood, I'm a big fan. Yeah, anyways, have you seen this?
No, but people keep asking me about it. I work in a video store now, and people were asking whether or not it's good. I've heard mixed things, so I don't know. What's your take on it?
I would recommend it, personally. Sorry, excuse me just a second. Just had to clear my throat.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, it's a movie about 3 different people that all kind of have one thing in common. That thing's death, and like how their lives have been touched by death.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's kind of deep in some parts. Like, you can tell Eastwood's getting old because he's contemplating all these things, probably. And that's kind of depressing, and I don't want to think about it too much. But anyways, Matt Damon is a guy that can talk to dead people. Ever since, like, something that happened. I won't give too much away because it's pretty new still. Something that happened as a child that, like, basically killed him and brought him back to life or whatever. So he's, like, the guy that can go in between and, like, talk to the dead people for people. And,
So
like,
Ghost Town.
Yes, but this, like, ruined his life. Because, like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyways. So it's when we meet up with him in this movie, he's starting over again. Like, he doesn't tell people this anymore and blah, blah, blah. There's a kid with a twin brother that dies suddenly when they're, like, out chilling out, chillaxing and all that.
Mhm.
And, yeah, that kind of screws him up pretty bad, actually. It's kind of sad. Like, I don't really care about kids, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
Is he a good kid actor though? Because in the trailer, that was the one thing that kind of stuck out.
How,
as
like,
being
kid
a
actors
potential
are
problem.
terrible.
Kid actors can definitely be terrible, and there's
Yeah.
like one line in the trailer that bothered me.
Which
to
one
the
was
extent
that?
Where I didn't. It's like, you're him, you're that psychic, and I was like, all right, this sucks. This movie's not going to be good. Like, it just one word, one little phrase, and I was like, okay, I don't know about this movie anymore.
Okay, in complete honesty, that's probably the most he says in a lot of it. Because
Okay, so he's just kind of looking sad.
He's really messed up from this, like, thing that happens. And we were talking, I think, 3 or 4 episodes ago now, like, maybe the first one, about that Cécile de France or whatever.
Yeah, from Around the World in 80 Days, and how she was kind of terrible in that movie. How
Right.
did she do here?
She's not bad in this one. She can't fake cry. But anyways, the movie opens up. I'm going to kind of go on a tangent a little bit here. because of something important that happened. This movie opens up with a tsunami that she was involved in and kind of came really close to death, to the point where I think she actually died, and then they brought her back. But, like, yeah, anyways. This movie came out in your local video store there, or on DVD or Blu-ray, a few days after a giant tsunami hit Japan.
Yeah.
So seeing that was actually kind of, like, heartbreaking, because, yeah, that's just a terrible thing, honestly.
I think they said something like they're going to donate proceeds from the sales of it to tsunami relief or whatever. I'm pretty sure that story came up last week.
Right. Yeah.
Just a little side note.
Yeah, so anyways, these three people, they all came close to death, or, like, have had death kind of ruin their lives in some way, or, like, make them see things a little differently. And they meet up, kind of. I don't know. I won't say they really meet up, but, like, something happens where they all kind of interact
like
somehow.
The stories intertwine and stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of these movies that, like, if you're not in the mood for a slow movie, you will hate it. Like, completely hate it. Because it is slow. It honestly doesn't feel like there's... This is going to sound really bad, because I kind of like this movie quite a bit, but it doesn't feel like there's a reason to watch this movie. Like, at all. Because you don't really get anything out of it. There's no, like, crescendo. There's no, like, great thing that happens in the third act.
Okay. It's just kind of like, hey, let's sit down and think about death for like 2.5 hours. 2 hours
and it's,
and 9 minutes.
And not even... more than anything, I think it's a decent character study. But I think it probably would have been more so for the actors than, like, it comes across to us. Because it's... At the same time, it's kind of hard to care for most of these people. Maybe Matt Damon and the kid more, but, like, I couldn't care for this Cecile or De France or whatever person at all. She's actually kind of a terrible person in it.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. As, like, for you working in a video store and people asking you, tell them that, yeah, it's a good movie if you're not expecting anything out of it. Like, if they seem like the people that, like, want to rent this or The Expendables, you know it's not for them.
Okay.
Because you won't get anything out of it.
Okay.
Was this nominated for anything last year?
Best visual effects for that tsunami.
Yeah, I know, it definitely doesn't deserve that.
Okay. Did it not look real or something? Or?
No, it was really well done, but I mean, like, spoilers, first 5 minutes is that, and then that's it for visuals for the whole movie.
Okay. There's no, like, weird otherworldly...
No.
Beyond death?
No.
Okay.
The Beyond Death thing is, like, a black room with, like, a distant, far blue light and silhouettes of people. That's the Beyond Death effect.
Alright. That seems something kind of lo-fi.
Yeah, from, like, the 40s or something.
Okay. There's no good way to transition to the next movie I saw, because it's anything but low-key and kind of quiet. It's called Hobo With A Shotgun.
Oh my god, yes, we have to talk about this.
It's kind of a fantastic movie, and I had to review this one, and I tried kind of putting as many things that were praiseworthy in 500 words, but it's hard because it's so good.
Is your review up?
No, not yet. I just submitted it yesterday. I think it's like the movie doesn't come out until the 25th, which is I think when we can publish it or whatever. March 25th here in Canada. Anyway, it is a Canadian film, which is awesome. National Film Board, man. They know how to finance some stuff.
Darn right.
So this movie, like, there was a trailer that was submitted into a contest like 4 years ago when Grindhouse was coming out. It won, and then that trailer was actually attached to the movie here in Canada, which is the first place I saw it. I saw that trailer back when that was in theatrical release. So then I guess they got a deal to do a full film. They phoned up Rutger Hauer apparently and were like, "Hey man, do you want to do this?" And he was like, "Yeah," which is the best thing ever.
Totally, I love Rutger Hauer.
I know, and I haven't seen him in like forever. And him being here, he's like the best sport in the world. Like this movie's filthy and disgusting, and he totally just surfs on it, and it's great.
How
Um,
awesome for that dude, hey? That, like, just made a...
Jason Eisner or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
he's the director, and that dude's cool too. He's
That's
on
so
Twitter.
awesome. You gotta feel, like, happy for people when stuff works out like that for them, where they're just doing a stupid little thing that becomes, like, a full action movie with... Or a grindhouse. Okay, I gotta ask, is this an actual grindhouse movie? Because
This is
grindhouse was not.
You're right. Like Grindhouse, Machete, even the movie I quite enjoyed a while ago, which I ended up seeing again, Drive Angry, is not really Grindhouse. Those are
No,
kind of
they're not.
riffing on Grindhouse and
They're
taking
like
that.
Hollywood versions of grindhouse.
Yeah, they're taking the absurdity and then kind of making like big movies out of it. This this movie totally actually reminds me of like the few grindhouse y kind of movies I've actually seen. Like the one specifically is called Street Trash, which is this terrible movie from 1987 about like this weird box of like mysterious liquid that is discovered under the stairs in the liquor store, and it turns out it makes you melt. That's kind of the story, and horrible things happen. Also prominently features homeless people, which is kind of furthering the connection between the two. But
Right.
it reminded me of that. Like it just looks grungy. The dialogue is totally trashy and disgusting. At some point, a dude, like two guys, two brothers who work for this evil villain called the Drake. They're blasting some disco inferno. They light up a flamethrower and torch a school bus full of kids,
Oh
and it's
my god,
awful.
yes.
It is terrible, but it's
That's
kind of
grindhouse right there, though.
I know it has to go so far that you're kind of disgusted and amazed at the same time, and this movie manages to pull that off. And yeah, just horrible grisly violence happens throughout, and the soundtrack is kind of amazing. And I mentioned it in the review, and I want to just like highlight some stuff about it. Um, there's kind of this really cheesy kind of super optimistic theme that kind of accompanies Rutger Hauer. He's just known as the Hobo throughout the whole movie. He never has a
Right.
name, and it kind of just follows him around. It's really so cheesy. It's perfect. And then later in the movie, there's this pair of assassin dudes who are basically like I don't know how to describe them other than like evil Daft Punk or something. They're like robotic type dudes.
Are they French?
Um, no, they're kind of bikery looking guys, but it's just a duo of cyborgy kind of dudes that one of them talks in like this rumbly synth voice that is indecipherable, and the other one just kind of has a weird like distorted voice thing, and they just kind of roll around, and the like amazing John Carpenter style synth stuff kind of accompanies them when they're
Nice.
going around. There's this great extended kind of action scene in this hospital that is pretty amazing. But, like the music's amazing, and then everything around the two dudes. Did I say they're called the Plague?
No,
That's the
that's
name.
amazing, and it makes me
Yeah,
think of hackers.
they're called the Plague, and they have this like this awesome little things are kind of just alluded to, but never really fully explained. Like they have like this weird code, like if one of them is defeated, whoever defeated them has to join their ranks and stuff. And it's I don't know. They pack a lot of fun, corny, cheesy ideas in there. The Drake basically reminded me of that game show host guy from The Running Man.
Okay, yep.
Except there's no cameras or anything, so he'll just like start causing havoc and mayhem in the streets just for whoever's around, which is kind of great. Like it's just like prepare for the big show. We're gonna kill this guy just for your amusement, and like there's like 30 people standing around.
Okay,
It's
so
just terrible.
I have a question about some logistic things in
Okay,
this movie. Have you ever gone shooting before?
what do you mean shooting?
Like shooting like weapons, just like shooting stuff?
I grew up on a farm and I fired firearms, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Um okay, so like he's a hobo, right? And he has a
yeah.
shotgun obviously. First of all,
Okay, yeah.
ammo is not necessary. Shotgun shells are cheap, but like
Mhm.
for a hobo that probably has a hard time finding sandwich scraps, how would he get
Yeah.
enough ammo to do all this stuff?
Ah. Well, okay. The movie, like, he arrives in town and he wants to buy a lawnmower, so he can start a
Right.
business. but instead, like, there's so much crime and stuff, so he decides to buy a shotgun instead. The
So
movie
he's a
kind of doesn't
vigilante for
care.
hire then.
Well, not no. It's a matter of principle, man. Like he's
Oh,
got to stand
okay.
up for something and clean up the streets because nobody else will. Like the cops are corrupt and everything. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
it's
Yeah,
no
okay.
one's gonna do anything unless he does. And the movie kind of gets around the ammo issue by just kind of him having infinite ammo all the time. Like he literally picks the shotgun up off a store wall and then just starts shooting. So I guess it was just fully loaded, like right out there on the sales floor, which is terrible. But the
That's
movie doesn't
pretty
really
awesome.
care
But you
about
know what?
that kind
That's
of stuff.
grindhouse right there too.
You see him reloading a couple times, so I guess at some point he picks up a bunch of ammo somehow, but whatever. He spends his lawnmower money on the shotgun and whatever ammo he can get, I guess, and
I
he
guess
goes
in
out to clean
theory,
up the
though, if
streets.
you pick up a shotgun from the store, you could rob that store for all the shells you need.
No, but he's an honorable hobo, so he wouldn't do that.
As most
Um,
are, I'm sure.
well, I hope so. Anyway, so yeah, fantastic stuff. For people who like actual grindhouse stuff, this is a must see. For people who like neo kind of grindhouse stuff, like the recent movies we talked about, I don't know how you're gonna like it because it's way grungier and like it's obviously low budget, but it makes the most of it, and it kind
Right.
of helps out a lot. Like it literally could play at like a late night showing alongside some other old stuff, and you kind of wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless you thought about how old Rutger Hauer is. That's the only thing that portrays it. And I guess Ricky from Trailer Park Boys is in it.
So this comes out when? This week or next week?
This week on the 25th, and
On the
if
25th.
I can get some like-minded people, I might just go see it again because
I will
it's cool,
totally go
man.
with you. But
And
anyways, before
I haven't given the movie any money really because I got a free press screening, so I want to support it. It's cool.
for sure, before we go any further, where could people find your review if they wanted to?
Oh, it's at beetroot.ca, which is Beatroute. So yeah, and for Calgary locals, check your local watering hole for a copy of Beetroot. So you probably are
Sounds
there.
good.
But yeah, so yeah, I saw Hobo with a Shotgun. What was next on yours?
That was only one. Didn't you have
I
another?
know. All right, fine. I watched a movie called Happy Endings, because Steve Coogan's in it, and he's in it,
How
and
is it?
it's not that great. It's kind of one of those mosaic, like multiple characters living their lives, and they kind of intertwine and through relationships and stuff. Um, Steve Coogan plays the what is it? The gay stepbrother of Lisa Kudrow's character, who was impregnated by him when they were teenagers, like decades ago. Like there's all complications and stuff. Like it's kind of I don't know what to compare it to. Like it's trying to be like a Little Children American Beauty kind of thing, but it's not as good because it's kind of got a weird comic-y sense to it that doesn't always work. Like the first bunch of the movie, I found kind of annoying because it just keeps like invading the screen with text explaining what's going on or what's going to happen in a kind of nod, wink kind of way, which I didn't find especially amusing for some reason. But there's some okay stuff in it.
Yeah, there's a few
Um,
reasons I didn't want to see this movie. One is
hmm
Lisa Kudrow, second is Jason Ritter, and third is Tom Arnold.
I kind of like Tom Arnold because of True Lies, so he's in my good books now.
Okay
Um,
then.
what do you see True Lies? Because I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, it's really good.
Yeah, and he's pretty funny, right?
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah. So I guess just because of that positive association.
But for every
Um.
True Lies, there's a The Stupids.
Oh yeah, no. Like he's certainly been in some bad films. He's okay here, I guess. He's kind of just a low key. He's a dad to this troubled young dude who's in a band. I don't really want to get into the plot complications. I didn't regret spending the time, I guess, but yeah, it's nothing exceptional. I really wish I hope Steve Coogan gets into some awesome stuff, like quality
Yeah.
directors go like, "Hey, this British guy is really good." And that'll happen someday. But until then, I'm just going to have to keep watching all these films, so whatever. I'm still on the
Yeah.
hunt for a couple other ones. But yeah, not much to say. Lisa
As
Kudrow, surprisingly, not that bad. She was okay in this movie.
And we'll
She
talk a
has some
bit
okay
about it
moments.
later, I guess, but the hunt for Coogan has made you go dark places.
Yes, yes, it has this week especially. But all right. What's next for you?
The next one was The Fighter, a movie I was wanting to see last year, couldn't find people, and then kind of forgot about it and didn't care. I really wish I had seen it last year. That's a really good movie. I don't know, like Melissa Leo is okay in it. I'm going back to the Oscar nominees here for Best Actress or not actress, supporting actress.
Yeah.
She's okay. Amy Adams blows her out of the water in that role. Like, she's really good.
Well, her character's a lot more likable, obviously, but yeah, I guess so. I could go either way, kind of. But, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really good movie. It's I mean,
kind of a
it's
conventional
Rocky.
boxing movie, though. Yeah, yeah. Like it follows most of the pattern.
I don't know if Christian Bale at all is like best supporting actor role here. I mean, he does good, but I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't know why people even considered it. But
okay, I thought he was quite extraordinary, but whatever. Hey, cat's been crazy.
More importantly, I didn't really mind Mark Wahlberg in like a serious role, which is pretty cool because I usually think he's pretty terrible at acting.
Yeah. Okay.
They probably just gave him a copy of like Rocky and said, "This is the role you're gonna be."
Apparently, he was really committed to this story and this role for quite some time. Like he was training for years to bulk up enough and stuff. But yeah.
Well, it worked. He looked scary. Big guy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have like David Russell's direction. I guess did he look sharp or whatever? I thought so. But
Sorry, what was that? His direction? What?
like sharp looking movie? Would you agree or?
Yeah, no, definitely. It has a certain like atmosphere to it that it stays true to. It's really well done.
Like I like
the whole thing with
I don't know.
Dickie in the jail or whatever. That's kind of sad. That like, I don't know, when they're watching the video of his life that he thought was like his HBO special.
Oh right.
Yeah, I don't know. That was pretty tough. Like that was kind of heartbreaking. But like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those movies, you know. It's a boxing movie. If you've seen Rocky, you've seen this. The underdog goes up in rank or whatever. I don't know. Like, it's just one of those. But it's well done, so I would definitely recommend that one.
Okay. A movie I wouldn't recommend anyone see ever for any reason is Battle Los Angeles.
Yeah, that movie doesn't look good though.
It tricked me because I was like, hey, there's gonna be guns and aliens, so.
But it also has Michelle Rodriguez.
Barely, and I don't hate Michelle Rodriguez. I don't know, she's basically Vasquez from Aliens Reborn as an actress, you know, Spanish.
And like everything.
Talk stuff. Yeah. She shows up like part way through the proceedings, so you don't even get that much of her. This movie has way too many characters though. Like there's like 10 people in it. You care about none of them. And also the aliens are basically just terrorists from space. Like they're not developed at all. They have the worst technology ever. Like they're basically just firing bullets at the army people to the point where I was just kind of bored the entire movie.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that was a racist comment.
Which one? Mexico?
No.
Spanish? Terrorists?
Yeah, that aliens are terrorists from space.
Why?
All aliens are.
I guess, but these aliens are, and they're boring because of it. Like, they literally just show up and they just start firing bullets at people. That's their big plan, I guess. And I think they're stealing the water.
Firing bullets, huh?
They're bullets. It was lame. And then, like, at one point in the movie, everyone's like, holy crap, what is that? And you're just kind of like, okay, finally, something big and crazy. And then it turns around, and it's just like, no, it's like the aliens have an M40. They're going to start shooting at you with their turret.
Oh my god, that's like, amazing.
Really? Like, I was
that's
so
hilarious.
but it's on like bipedal legs. So then at one point they're just like, oh, we should probably shoot its kneecaps, and then they do, and it falls over. Like, most underwhelming action scenes ever, like
It
throughout the
sounds
entire
kind
movie.
of like a video game in movie
It
form,
was yeah, it totally reminded me of just like
which is
Call of
not
Duty.
good.
Yeah, it was Call of Duty, but they're shooting aliens, and the story is even less interesting. Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at least was like, hey, you know what movie's awesome? The Rock. Let's crib a bunch of stuff from that.
And to be
Whereas
fair,
this
they're
movie,
both about the same amount of to get through it.
like, what, 4 hours?
Like maybe 3 if you're good.
Yeah, I guess if you're good. I took longer, but yeah, the longest 2 hours ever though. Like at like the 80-minute mark probably. Like I had to check with Ryan, my buddy, like, hey, what time is it? Is this almost over? And it was like, no, there's still like 40 minutes left. And then like, oh man, just soulless, horrible, terrible movie. Totally fell for it though. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be sick, and it totally wasn't. So, anyway, yeah, just word of warning, I guess. It's kind of too late because that movie already made most of its money in its first weekend, but
Who did that one? Who directed
nobody,
it?
some terrible person who sucks at filmmaking. Let me just
That's
double
not an
check.
answer.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry to whoever hack made it. Like, this is the thing. Like, this movie kind of reminded me of like just how much fun Independence Day is, and how this movie isn't that at all. Because that movie's stupid, but it knows it is and it has fun. Whereas this movie's trying to be serious for some reason, and it's awful. Like, yeah. Jonathan Liebsman, who
Oh, he did
directed
Darkness Falls.
and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. So, yeah, great. He should probably stop. I don't know. That's it's bad. It's really bad. Like the fact that critics, like anyone gave it any kind of pass, like it's at like 30 something percent. That's way too generous. It's a really 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 bad movie. Then I watched Monsters, which
We
is
talked
another
about it a
alien
little
movie.
bit last week.
Yeah, I don't like it's impressive for the budget and stuff, but I kind of didn't find it as engaging as I was hoping to.
No?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
there
don't
was
know.
some
Like, engaging is definitely not the word I would use to describe it at all. I don't know. I just thought it was well done.
like effects wise and stuff, because if so, definitely. But
Effects-wise,
the story I found, like, I didn't know it was mainly about two people kind of falling in love on this weird road trip, basically.
this weird road trip. I love it.
Yeah, through like the road trip happens to be through alien infested parts of Mexico or whatever.
Right,
But
just trying to get back home.
yeah, but I didn't realize it was going to be that kind of character focused, which was it's fine. You know, that's totally a thing movies ought to have is characters with relationships and things. But
Unlike,
I thought the focus would be more on like, yo, what are these aliens all about? Where they're kind of just a thing that happens. Kind of cool elliptical like fold around ending, I guess, with the
yeah.
beginning. But yeah,
What did you
I,
think of the, like, actual ending? Like, the last few frames there? A lot of people
the
seem to be in an uproar about it.
like being annoying or not good or what?
How it, they're, how they say it just, like, cuts away. Because
Oh,
it,
I
like,
kind of
with
liked
the
it
two of
because
them
I
kind of,
like the
like,
scene
being,
that led up to it too. It's
yeah.
kind of the best showcasing of the weird octopus-like alien creatures, which were cool, like the well-designed aliens, as opposed to Battle Los Angeles' super bland, basically dudes with weird costumes. Like these were full on, like, yo, no, that thing is not normal. That is a giant octopus thing walking around. So yeah, it's a better movie, but the main thing though that stands out, like I kind of want to pick it up and like check the commentary or something, just to kind of get a sense of how such a low budget movie was made, because it literally cost like 25 grand or something, which is pretty impressive. Like it's a pretty impressive like achievement. I just didn't find it as engaging of a story and movie and stuff as I was hoping for, but I still think it's pretty good. But anyway.
Right.
Did you have any other thoughts on it, like from last week? Thinking back on it, or
Yeah, no, I can't remember a lot of stuff that happened in it. I just remember certain key points. I don't know. I really like that movie.
okay,
I think
that's
that would
fair.
be a good $10 buy.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I was kind of more intrigued by the story behind it than the actual movie, but it's 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 all right. What was next on your list?
One I kind of don't want to talk about, but I will.
No,
It's
spill
a,
it. What was it?
it's a pretty terrible movie.
All
It's,
right. Well, I
ugh.
probably got you beat with the terrible movie.
I
What
don't
what is
know.
it?
This one we might have to have like a face-off with or something. Like you might have to watch this, and I'll watch yours. I watched
Okay.
1997's The Pest.
Okay.
Have
I
you
don't know
seen
what
this
this
movie?
is. No idea what you're talking about. I'm looking it up right
Okay,
now.
I'll
Oh,
give you a
John
little.
Leguizamo.
Yeah, I'll give you a little backstory. 1997. I was like, how old was I then? 11 years old, I guess, maybe 12. I thought it was hilarious. That's the
Okay.
backstory. 12 years old, I think it's funny. Okay?
Uh huh.
I am now on the cusp of 25. This is the stupidest piece of crap movie I have ever seen in my life, and I want to strangle me as a child. Um,
That that
it,
tends to happen. Like, don't revisit past loves. It
but see, I
almost
didn't
never
love
pays
it as
off.
a kid. The reason I put it on is because it's on Netflix, and I was cleaning up, and I wanted. I can't stand silence. Like, I don't like things being quiet. I need to have noise while I'm doing
Uh,
stuff. So this was like just kind of there, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do this while I clean up my living room. And I ended up actually finishing it, which was another mistake. But anyways, this makes me realize that I probably hate John Leguizamo or whatever just because of this
yeah.
movie. Like, it's
What's it
just
about? Because like the plot
he
description here is just kind of weird.
he plays a guy named Pistario Vargas, aka Pest, and
Uh
it's
huh.
him being an asshole the whole time. He's being, but not like the jerk, which was funny. He's just being an annoying piece of crap, and you just want to
Okay.
kill him. You want to like rip him apart. He's just terrible. Anyways, the idea is he's a con man or whatever, and he's in trouble with the Scottish mafia, I guess. Scottish, Irish, Scottish. I'm gonna
Here,
probably.
I'll check.
I think it's Scottish because they talk about Sean Connery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scottish mob and a German headhunter.
right. So it's yeah, there you go. That's all you need to know. No. Anyways, he owes them $50,000, and this German headhunter hunts people, and he said, "Yeah, I'll give you $50,000 if you can survive 24 hours or whatever." And yeah, that's the whole story. He's just an annoying piece of crap the whole time. Um,
So
I would
not that
recommend
great.
anybody wanting to like get an idea of what this movie's like, watch the first 5 minutes. If you can stand it, you can stomach the whole movie. If not, don't do yourself a favor, turn it off and forget this happened.
Okay.
Like, because the first five movies are terrible. It's him singing in the shower, and the theme he's singing to like was written for the song. It's like an old '90s kind of like hip hop beat, so it
Mhm.
has that like boom, boom, boom bass line and stuff like that. And anyways, that plays literally throughout the whole movie, like not in a row, but every time there has to
Okay.
be music, it's the Pest theme.
Okay.
Like everything about it is just bad.
Okay, wait. So if I liked Luigi in the Mario Brothers movie, will I enjoy his take on the pest?
if
Because
you, if you liked Luigi, you've
yeah.
seen him. That's him acting miles around what he had to do for the Pest.
Oh, okay.
He is Clint
I,
Eastwood as Luigi in comparison to this role. This is the stupidest role ever. It's him being the most obnoxious person in the world to the point where it's just irritating. And like as a
okay.
kid, it's hilarious because it's like, hey, he does like poop jokes and stuff like that, and he does funny voices and faces. Growing up, it's just like, wow, I want to kill him. This is the reason why humanity is going in a decline, and we're all going to be the idiots in 500 years that Idiocracy shows.
Okay. All right.
So,
So
yeah, I don't know,
don't
rent it?
check it out.
Yeah,
I'm
rent it.
checking out the director Paul Miller. I guess he's like a TV guy primarily. Anyway. All right. So don't see that. I don't know. I'm intrigued maybe a little bit, but I'll try your 5 minute test maybe and see
Yeah,
how it
the
goes.
first 5 minutes where it actually shows him on screen, because I think the first, like, 3 minutes of those 5 minutes is just, like, setting up shots.
Okay. Um, I saw a documentary, which is just totally changing gears. It's a documentary about overfishing called "The End of the Line."
Right. Yep.
Um, and it's pretty interesting. A lot of just kind of global concerns I was not really aware of. Such as you can buy like super endangered fish at your local supermarket, and it's true because I went down to Safeway and checked some tuna cans, and I was like, oh man, this is terrible.
It is
Yellowfin tuna,
delicious though.
don't eat it. But there's other tuna that's literally like you can't distinguish them because you know we're you can't. I defy anyone who can distinguish between yellowfin tuna and like normal Atlantic tuna or
I'm
whatever.
gonna go out there and say I didn't even know there was more than one type of tuna.
Yeah, there's a bunch. And some of the labeling on cans and stuff doesn't really distinguish like what's in there, which is kind of some concern as well. But anyway, so yeah, super straightforward documentary, like just a bunch of dudes who know their stuff talking, like marine biologists and stuff, professors. Ted Danson narrates it, so if you're a big Cheers fan, you should probably check it out.
No, but I
And
did love Becker.
okay, well,
Becker
even
was
even
like the
more recent. So
family-friendly house.
there you go. So you might want to check this out too. You get to hear him talk about serious global problems with fishing. And,
So I have a quick question.
yeah.
You said this is a
Mhm.
documentary.
Yep.
Okay, there's kind of two types of documentaries I usually like get how I distinguish them. Is this a
Okay.
thought-provoking one or a preachy one?
Okay. Okay. My distinguishes are usually like super pessimistic or optimistic. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are just
Optimistic
like,
is thought-provoking though, and
okay,
pessimistic
sure.
is
I would
preachy.
call this a thought-provoking one because it actually gives you like tips to turn things around. Like it's
Whereas
kind of
Michael Moore
empowering
is
in a
nothing
way.
but like preachy.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's literally just giving you information. Like there's no real agenda behind it other than, yo, we probably shouldn't destroy the ocean. You think?
Yeah.
Kind of
Hey,
thing. Like,
can can I give you a little recommendation just while we're kind of on the topic?
okay.
Food Inc. Check it out.
Okay. I've heard people have mentioned that. I tried watching The Corporation a couple weeks ago, and it's just depressing. Like the first 40 minutes is just like a series of punches in the face, and I was just like, I don't care anymore. Just leave
Yeah.
me alone. This movie, like, it kind of does punch you with some pretty harsh realities for the first like bit, but then the last half hour is just a bunch of like practical ways to help out, and I totally took that to heart and sent some emails to Safeway and stuff and whatever. So world change, man. I don't know. I felt good after watching it. Like I just felt like a better informed person.
And see, that's a good
So
documentary right there. When you feel like crap after, that's a bad one.
yeah. So I would qualify this as a good documentary for
You
that
know what they
reason.
need to do more with documentaries is they need to do follow-up documentaries. It's like,
Like
yo,
it's like,
remember all
hey,
this
we
stuff we
actually,
talked about in 2009? Well, guess
uh
what?
huh,
It's like this now. I think that would be awesome.
like just a sequel or something. Like no, seriously, stop. Like it's worse now.
Like
Or
every
like, hey,
five
we
or
turned
ten
it around.
years, they do a sequel to like a popular documentary. It's like things have gone a little bit better, but this is happening now with this.
Hmm.
That's something I can
I
get
guess so.
behind.
Yeah. Some of my favorite documentaries are just about frivolous subjects, like Exit, uh, from the gift shop. What was it called?
King of Con,
Yeah, and King of Kong. That was the other one.
exit
Just
through the
like
gift
stuff
shop.
that exit through the gift shop. That's it. Like ones that just kind of don't matter. Like yo, street art, Donkey Kong. I don't know. And you're just like, yeah, all right, this is something I can get behind. Cause
It's
like,
easier to swallow.
yeah, it doesn't really affect your day to day. And I'm not a big fish consumer, I guess, but I have a cat, and cats like fish, so it's kind of prompted me to look into some of that stuff too.
You kind
Cause
of blew my mind just now.
what, the cats like fish?
That like I never even thought about like the fish they probably put in cat food.
Yeah, I was checking the labels, and it's super vague. It's just like ocean fish, and you're just like, okay, are they endangered fish or what? I don't know. Like,
I'm
is
gonna
there
blow your
really?
mind now. What
Okay,
if your cat was allergic to a certain kind of tuna? And then it's like
I
ocean fish. Like, wouldn't that be terrible?
I
Because like,
guess
what if
he's
cats are allergic to some stuff, and you're just like, Wow, I
Some
really
fish as opposed
wish.
to others.
Yeah, I really
So
wish you
one
would be
can
more
of just
specific.
generic fish food would contain like some octopus or
Well,
something.
like how
You can't
people
handle it.
like can have celiac disease and can't eat gluten, so you can get gluten-free stuff that is like the same thing, only a little different, or like stuff
Yeah.
without peanuts or nuts or something. Like, what if
I'm
cats
currently
are like that
unaware of
too?
my cat having any allergies. I know he doesn't like salmon though, which alright, I
That's
guess so.
nuts, man. Salmon is awesome.
Yeah, he won't have it though. He's just like, nah. But anyway, we're not even talking about movies anymore. We're just talking about cat food.
I could
So
talk
I'm just
about
gonna
cat food
mention.
all day.
Okay, like, do you have a cat or?
I have, yes, I have a cat, and I have a cat at my parents' house, but he's
Okay.
gonna
Do you go
die.
with like the
So
dry food or like the wet kind of cans of food? Because that's
I
what I like to
go
eat.
with the dry food when I go shopping for like my own food, because you
All
can
right.
get that stuff dirt cheap and a lot of it. However, when he runs out and like I have food, I'll go down to the corner store and just buy like a week's worth of wet food.
Okay.
I try not to
Um.
do the wet food because I find it makes his stomach, his digestion a little weird, and he stinks. Like his fur smells weird,
Huh. Okay.
and it's kind of
Weird.
oily after too.
Whereas my cat, like we've had problems switching him to dry food, so he'll throw up a lot and stuff. So we just switch back to wet stuff. He
Right.
doesn't like stew and turkey apparently though, so he's
I
finicky. I don't know.
Yeah, mine is too. Does your cat do the thing where they like pull the food out with their paw and then eat it on the ground?
Not usually. He's done that like once or twice. We should really stop talking about cats though. It's gone on a bit. Okay. I watched Aaron Brockovich. I don't know. It's okay. What was next on your list?
I don't know. It's okay.
I like Albert Finney is probably my favorite part of it. And Aaron Eckhart actually. Good contrast to Battle Los Angeles where he's bland and totally awful. He's actually I forgot he was in this movie. He plays like the kind biker neighbor guy next door slash boyfriend, and he's super charming. And you're just like, oh right, that's why people like you, including me,
Yeah,
because you can do that if someone writes a character for you.
right.
Julie Roberts though, like I have limited tolerance, and she's just super, firecracker, super
That's one of
strong-willed.
her better roles, though. Like as an actress.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. There's a couple scenes that have just some really eye-rolling dialogue in it, but overall, totally fine, conventional, straightforward story done by Mr. Soderbergh. So how
Yeah,
about
but
that?
I mean, yeah, you should probably just go with Michael Clayton
For a
for that like
what?
whole corporate espionage type thing.
Oh, I guess, but like this one's way more, uplifting and straightforward, and just kind of like little guy, Dave versus Goliath, that kind of legal battle.
Yeah,
Yeah, the corporate side of it is way more friendly in this movie. Like it's threatening phone call or something. Not like two weird dudes show up at your door and guess what? They're injecting some poison in between your toes and that's it. Spoilers. That scene was awesome, by the way.
yeah, it was that. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, that I don't know. That movie's cold and kind of awesome. But anyway, Michael Clayton. We'll watch it sometime again. I think we've discussed it on this podcast at some point, right?
We have because of our love for Clooney.
Yeah. But anyway, what's next for you?
Next on my list was another throwaway movie from I think the 90s, maybe really early 2000s, was Road Trip. I'm sure you've probably seen this one.
I have not,
Maybe.
but it's kind of come up lately because of Mr. Todd Phillips' current popularity. So, yeah.
His current popularity.
He's the
Like with The
Hangover.
Hangover?
Yeah, and Hangover
Right.
2 and Due Date and stuff. Like,
And
he's
Due
kind of
Date.
happening right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember you saying something that you really like Amy Smart. Is that you?
I don't think so, but she was in Crank, right?
Yeah.
So, she's okay.
No, like,
but
not,
I
not
don't
really
think I've
like
ever
as in like
professed.
she's great or anything, that you thought she's cute or something.
I don't think that was me.
Maybe that wasn't you. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. She's in it. Sean William Scott's in it. Breckin Meyer. Tom Green. I mean, yeah, that's how old this movie is. Tom Green was still doing stuff. That
DJ
kid.
Qualls.
Yeah, from The New Guy. That was actually a pretty good movie, The New Guy. Just saying. Andy Dick's in it in one part, which is really weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's a feel-good movie, I guess, kind of, where Breckenmeyer's character and his girlfriend, played by Rachel Blanchard, I guess? Blanchard?
Okay.
The Clueless TV show fame? No? Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm looking at it on IMDb. Snakes on a Plane Flame. Come on.
yeah, I think she'd probably be more famous from Clueless TV show.
She played Mercedes. I
Anyways,
don't
yeah,
remember.
they, like, grew up together and, like, were going out and stuff like that. Then they go to separate colleges across the states. And something happens where, like, he sends a sex tape accidentally to her. So they got to do a road trip with the buddies and, like, all go and get it intercepted. That's the whole story. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where a bunch of people have stuff happen to them and funny situations that it's forgettable, but while you're watching it, it's kind of a good laughs here and there. I don't know. It's
So
one of
like
those.
Sex Drive.
Right, exactly. Or, like, Euro Trip, which
Okay.
I'm pretty sure is probably the spiritual sequel, if not the just complete flat-out sequel to this movie.
Okay. Fair enough. Um. Okay. I kind of broke chronological order to bring up Aaron Brockovich because I wanted to keep this thematic. I watched some Eddie Murphy stuff as well in light of Raw and things.
Okay.
First 48 Hours, which was not what I thought it would be, because I thought it was going to be like more comedy, but it's more action than I was prepared for, which was kind of weird. But yeah, largely regarded as like the first buddy cop movie. Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy team up to fight some pretty nefarious killers. Like there's these two dudes who kind of murder a lot of people in the first bit of this movie, which I was not ready for at all. Um, and I don't know, they stop them, you know. Don't mean to spoil things, but they figure it out, and yeah,
Thanks for spoiling a 30-year-old movie.
I know. I'm sorry. Um, and then I watched The Golden Child, which,
I've never
yeah,
even heard of that.
it was apparently a pretty big box office hit in like the mid '80s, and it is super '80s, like all over the place. The soundtrack, just kind of the premise and what's going on and stuff. Like it's ridiculous. Have you seen Last Action Hero?
Of course.
Okay, you know the bad guy in that, Charles Dance. He's got like the glass eye.
Just trying. Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah. I
right,
do.
like that's who I think of whenever I think of Charles Dance. He's the bad guy in this movie. He's like this weird sorcerer type guy who secretly turns out to be a demon. And
He's
there's
also
this
Clemens in Alien 3, just as a.
yeah, you're right. And he's gonna be in the upcoming Your Highness with Danny McBride. So check that out. But anyway, he's okay as just a super ridiculous villain guy. The story is there's this little kid who has like super healing powers, gets kidnapped, and for some reason ends up in Eddie Murphy's neck of the woods in like New York or something. And he's an expert child like abductee detective guy, who gets hired by this like supermodel or whatever to save the kid, and he does, and it's ridiculous. It's not a good movie really, but I was kind of thoroughly amused by just how stupid it is in a way that you can't really get away with anymore. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Eddie Murphy had his time. I don't think he should be doing stuff anymore.
I don't know. If he was to really focus his skills and get back that enthusiasm for
Then he would
comedy
be
again.
funny for 12-year-olds and not our age.
No, I think he has what it takes to become a salty, like later age actor. You know,
I'm
like he's
telling
like
you, dude,
48
that's his
now.
brother.
I
He's
don't
all
know
about
because
the kids.
I was checking up Charlie Murphy and he was like, "Oh, hey, co-writer on Norbit, great."
Yeah,
Instilled some confidence.
he probably like came up with a name for something and he probably got credited. I bet it hurts him.
I don't know, but okay. I don't hate Mr. Murphy, but to be fair, I've never seen Norbit or like the Nutty Professor stuff
The
or whatever. So
clumps stuff.
yeah, I didn't watch those, but I don't know.
He's got to throw out that fat suit. Like,
Yeah, I choose to
yeah.
believe in Eddie Murphy. I think he'll be back. He'll be back. Come on, he's got the
I mean,
skills.
that's fair. I believe in everything Kevin Smith does, so I mean, which one of us is the more naive?
And looking back on like his early career stuff too, dude was like crazy young when he started. He was like 21 in 48 hours, which is I don't know. It's awesome. And yeah. Anyway, Eddie Murphy, guys, he used to be cool, and I'm pretty sure he will be again. I haven't seen Meet Dave either, but anyway,
Yeah, me either.
what's next for you?
We were talking a little bit last week about Charlie Sheen. Well, 2 weeks ago, I guess now, maybe. Anyways,
Yeah.
I watched The Arrival because I found it for $5.99 on Blu-ray,
Nice.
and
Where'd you score that?
that's Future Shop in one of those bins. Actually, right
Dude,
after we were talking about it, I went to go see if there was any movies out, and I saw that there. I was like, "What are the odds?" So I grabbed it.
I gotta go pick that up. That movie's great, huh?
Yeah, the movie's really good. I had seen some of it before, I guess, because I remember parts of it, but like I never saw the whole thing, and I was a kid back then. Um, I don't know what to say about that movie. It's kind of slow paced, but like not like
Like, it's got a
the,
decent kind of mystery
it has a
vibe
good
to it.
pace going to it. Yeah, it's more like a film noir with aliens.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it held up pretty good too, like visually and stuff, because they don't really bank too hard on special effects. So there's a couple moments where you're like,
Well,
that's
pretty
kind of
much
bad.
all about half an hour from the end
Hmm.
is like all the special effects in that movie.
And their legs bend backwards, so you know they're aliens.
Yeah, that bothers me. Just because
Okay.
I think like if that happened to me, that would hurt a lot.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying though with the Gordon Freeman stuff? Zane?
Well, I mean, he is Gordon Freeman.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like he's got the beard, he's got the glasses. He's signed
He's
this
a
dude
free
into
man.
aliens. Pretty much. I don't know. Overlooked movie from the yeah.
Actually, you know what? I completely agree with you. It is really overlooked. I think we should probably call this the Tiger Blood edition of Movie Monks.
Okay. Like just like, hey, Charlie Sheen used to be cool. Check out this movie kind of thing or what?
Sure, why not? I just wanted to say Tiger's Blood somehow.
Okay. I'm after seeing like I've been overexposed to Charlie Sheen's current wave of crazy though, so I'm not following him on Twitter anymore. I watched like one of his videos and it just creeped me out because dude looks crazy right now, like unhealthy. So
Right, but like to be fair, was he ever not crazy?
I don't know anymore, but he seemed to have it together in The Arrival, right? Right?
Well, I mean, he's acting.
Yeah, I guess
We
so.
don't know
So have
that
we
like
ever
they
really
didn't say
seen?
cut, and then he would go like on the alien head they have and like do a line of coke or something.
Who knows? I guess he's been off and on problems forever. I just didn't really see that
But see,
side.
I don't really understand that because like didn't he grow up in Beverly Hills and like his with money and stuff? Like it's hard to feel sympathetic for him at all.
Oh no, yeah, it's
I think it's
yeah.
hilarious some of the shit he says, but like I don't know. He's getting more attention than he deserves right now. He should have got more attention for The Arrival.
Hmm. So yeah, I think we can both officially endorse that movie as pretty darn awesome and interesting. I got to go check out picking up a copy because it's a little more than that on Amazon. So yeah.
Yeah, if I see it again, I'll let you know.
Okay. Um, I are you familiar with Mr. Stephen King? He's a author and
Yeah, he's actually one of growing up. He was one of my favorite and most read authors, and he does really good. Well, he did some good movies. Well, kind of. They did good adaptations of some of
okay.
his stuff. Anyways, go on.
I saw like two related to him, and one I would say was pretty good, and one was kind of just not great and kind of bad. I watched Creepshow, which is another kind of collection of
Yes.
short movies.
Yep.
I guess I would say
The
I
original.
really liked, yeah, the first one, 1982 or whatever. I really liked two of the sketches, I guess, like two of the short films.
Which
One
ones?
of them was, I, I, yeah, I guess I'll just get into it. The one with Leslie Nielsen and Ted Danson was
Yep.
pretty awesome. Like,
Yep.
it's just like jealous husband guy figures out like this truly diabolical way to kill both of them. Like, it just bothered me how perfectly, like, how malicious that was. He buries them up to their necks in sand and lets the tide do its thing.
Before
That's
we go
awful.
on a little more with this, I gotta ask you a
Mhm.
quick question. First of all,
Okay.
are you really into horror at all?
Not exactly. I've been watching some stuff lately, but
Right. Okay. So, like, when you see Creepshow, like, have you seen Creepshow 2, maybe, at all?
no, no.
Okay. When you see the cover for Creepshow, like, do you think it's gonna be cheesy at all?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Were you, like, surprised that it's not really cheesy? It's actually kind of, like, I don't
Mm,
know, creepy, some of the stuff they do?
yeah,
Like,
the
disturbing?
the one that best kind of did that for me was probably the one with Hal Holbrook. Like, it's called The
Right.
Crate or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, like, initially I was like, oh, whatever, this is just stupid monster or whatever in a box, which it totally is. It's like just a really straightforward, yo, it's a monster movie. But something about it was a little creepy in a way, which I found quite exhilarating because I
I
wasn't.
found that with, like, most of them, though.
The first one I just thought was dumb. Like, it's this is kind of zombie dude comes back and bothers his family, and it just was kind of too jokey. And the second one actually was pretty jokey too, where Stephen King himself finds this meteor that makes plants grow everywhere, including his body. Oh no! And then he's covered in plants. Like that was just didn't do anything really, personally. But the next two, yeah, were pretty good, for hitting that kind of middle ground between creepy and kind of just funny. Like, very reminiscent, or well, it's weird because it came before Tales from the Crypt the show, but it was kind of inspired by the comic books, you
Yeah.
know. So it has a very similar kind of vibe to it. Um, but probably a little less corny than that stuff. Though it still has some kind of dumb ending stuff. Like the one with Leslie Nielsen I really liked, but then the ending is just kind of silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you.
But no, yeah, like I was more creeped out than I was expecting to from this movie, especially with the Hal Holbrook monster thing, because it kind of does some neat stuff with that. Like, he basically makes the best of a really weird situation to play into his own evil scheme, which was kind of awesome. The last one with the bugs, I mean, bugs are really gross, so that was pretty gross.
Right. I love that
But
Romero and King did this together.
yeah, um, yeah, I haven't been the biggest Romero guy, but he did some good stuff in this. It was
He's one
pretty
of
good.
my favorite guys, but we'll get into that later.
Yo, did you see Diary of the Dead though? Cause
Yes, I liked it,
oh,
and we can actually get into that if
all
you
right.
want, but probably not right now.
Did you watch it this week, or would it just be a pure tangent?
No, it would be a pure tangent, which maybe we
Oh,
shouldn't get into right now.
all right. We'll save it for some other time. I didn't like that movie. But right after Creepshow, I was still feeling the King stuff, and I also couldn't sleep, so I was just like, I'm gonna watch Thinner on my phone on Netflix, and I
What did you
did.
think of Thinner?
Decent, well, okay premise. Like, it reminded me of Drag Me to Hell, which isn't exactly fair because it came way before that. Gypsy curses. Um, but yeah, just really dumb ending. Just ran out of ideas maybe after a while. Like when
I'm
Joe
sorry, could you
Mantegna.
remind me of what the ending is? I haven't seen it since it came out.
All right, and this came out like 15 years ago, and it's not very good. So yeah, let's just talk about it. Gypsy dude, like, okay, guy hires Joe Montagna or whatever, Fat Tony from The Simpsons, which is weird hearing him speak because it just reminds me
Yeah,
of that.
totally.
Um, he hires them to just kind of terrorize them and make them cure him or whatever. He has a curse which makes him lose weight every single day to the point where he'll eventually just kind of deteriorate to nothing. Um, the gypsy dude comes up and is like, "All right, there's a way to get rid of the curse. Put your blood in this pie. You can pass the curse on to somebody if you get them to eat it."
Oh, that's
Um,
right, and he passes it off to that one douchebag.
Well, kind of. Of course, it all goes horribly wrong, and like, oh no, he wanted to kill his wife because he thought she was cheating, but then his daughter ate the pie too, so no, she's cursed too.
Yeah.
And also, and then like the dude he suspects his wife was cheating with or whatever comes over and he's like, hey, do you want some pie? And that's the end of the movie. So
Right.
yeah, just kind of trying to be all Twilight Zone or something or ironic. Oh no, but yeah, not great.
Yeah, I find the problem with a lot of King stuff is that it's hard to transcribe the like horror that you get from reading something and your mind working with it into video form.
Into film, like yeah, because
Totally.
there's other people being cursed too, like where it's like his skin is turning into like lizard scales, but then you see it and you're just like, that's just
And it looks
stupid.
ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's
like when
just
you're reading it, it's actually kind of terrifying, some of the stuff he writes.
because it provokes your imagination to think of awful things.
Like The
But
Shining is just one of the scariest books ever written.
uh, I haven't read it. I've seen that Kubrick movie though. But anyway,
Did you see the other one they made?
the
That's
like
more like the book.
the miniseries that he was more involved with. No, is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. I can't find a copy of it though.
Okay. I've seen it at like video stores and stuff for rent every now and then, but yeah, I think we have it. But anyway, what's next for you?
Next, I went to the theater this weekend. I saw Rango.
Good, right?
It's so good. Oh my god. So, like, okay, a little backstory. I have terrible friends and nobody wants to see good stuff with me. Um, catch up to yesterday, I asked another one of my friends, do you want to see Rango? They said it looks stupid. So it's like, fine, you know what? I'm going. And I saw it as a double feature with something else we'll get into in a little bit here. That movie is everything I thought it would be. It's a beautiful movie. Like, it's
Yeah.
well done. That whole movie is a movie reference, like, to other stuff. It's amazing. And, like, catching a lot of it is just kind of a nice little treat. Johnny Depp is always as amazing, even his just voice form. Yeah, I mean, a rattlesnake with a Gatling gun on his tail. That's all you have to say.
Yeah. Bill Nighy's pretty cool there.
Yeah, like, all the voice acting was really good. I don't know if I liked Isla Fisher. I mean, she was
Really?
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't
I
like
didn't
the
even
accent
realize
they
it
were
was her.
doing.
I just kind of liked that character, and then I was like, oh, cool.
I do like the character. I didn't like the accent they were giving her.
Oh, okay.
It just seemed too hillbilly-ish, not enough, like, that sort of, like a Mexican spaghetti western-ish,
Uh-huh.
where, like,
I guess
everyone
so.
else was pretty spot on. And I think the only reason it's noticeable is because everyone else was, like, pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a great movie. I don't know what I could say about it. We talked a little bit about it last week, and you were saying some stuff. And, I mean, that movie is Chinatown.
Yeah, there's a lot of Chinatown stuff, which is really weird for a kids movie. Do you agree it kind of lands right in that kind of Nickelodeon thing where it's not really for kids, but it's kind of
I don't think it's
juvenile?
at all for kids, just based on the fact that they won't get a lot of the subtle things that make it great.
Yeah.
Like, they totally could watch it, and it would be a totally fun experience for them, but I think this is something made for the adults. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of made for, like, either or, but, like, there's stuff in there that the adults will appreciate more than the kids, which is Nickelodeon's, like, calling card for everything they do, pretty much.
Yeah. Kind of a weird mix, but I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's probably my favorite movie of this year so far.
I
If I
kind
had
of,
to
I
choose one.
think I'll have to agree with you. I can't wait to see this in Blu-ray.
Yeah, no, it visually really impressive too. Like Roger Ebert was writing about how like just how crappy 3D seems in comparison now, just because the whole thing is to make it look more visually awesome, but this movie looks amazing without needing it really. So I agree.
Yeah, I think 3D would have ruined this movie.
Yeah, I respect their decision to not do that. Yeah, good movie. Good movie. Mr. Depp, that guy's still cool.
Yeah, he's one of the best actors I think there is around.
I didn't see the
'Cause he,
tourist. but
I haven't either, but like every single role he's in, he seems to just completely engulf himself into.
I'd like to see him do maybe a little more serious stuff again. Like he's been burdening it up quite a bit
I heard that
lately,
Public
but
Enemies was pretty bad, though.
yeah, I know. Like he has a couple good moments in it, but like I actually wouldn't fault him for anything wrong with that movie, but yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed by it. Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey,
what's the
David
next one?
Lynch. You familiar with Mr.
Oh, I
Lynch?
love David Lynch.
All right. I watched quite a few of his movies this week. I'm gonna kick off the one that kind of kicked off that resurgence. I watched Blue Velvet again.
Nice.
Um,
Yep.
it's really good. It's a really good movie. I don't know.
The
It was
Hopper.
supposed to. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Hopper, who rest in peace or whatever. But he's great here.
Totally.
Just crazy. Um, it was supposed to be for class, but I slept in, which kind of bummed me out because I kind of wanted to see how a crowd would kind of react to this movie nowadays. But I ended up just watching my copy at home.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know, nothing really to say other than it's really good. Kyle MacLachlan,
It's hard to
cool.
talk about Lynch because the people that know Lynch like Lynch a lot, and the people that don't probably wouldn't.
Yeah, so it's hard to just kind of summarize what the plot. Like it's kind of a detective movie, but with weird stuff going on, like sexual discovery stuff, and just I don't know. It's weird. There's a lot
It's a
going on.
Lynch movie.
Yeah, it's a David Lynch movie. One of the more straightforward ones, probably, like especially compared to one I watched last night, which we will talk about. But yeah, just good, solid stuff. Looks sharp, like holds up really great. Laura Dern is there, and they're kind of frequent collaborators and stuff. Um, Jack Nance has a cool little scene I kind of forgot about. Oh, he's related to last week. He plays a character named Paul, and he lets you know that his name is Paul, and that's kind of all he says, and it's really funny. Um, watch it
Oh
again.
yeah, that's right.
Look for it. Like he just like weirds Kyle MacLachlan's character out, and then punches him or something. It's weird.
I gotta be
Um,
honest with you. I saw that you were watching this,
mhm.
and it almost made me watch every Lynch movie I own.
Yeah, it
So
kind
we
of
could
comes in
talk.
waves.
So we
for
could
me.
have a really good discussion about it. But yeah,
Like I've kind of had a couple Lynch waves over the past few years, and I'm in the middle of one right now where I'm just kind of revisiting all of it because it's kind of great. But anyway, and then I watched Drive Angry again, which I like Drive Angry a lot, and I still do, but maybe didn't need to see it again that quickly because
okay.
there's really not that much to get into, and now that the fresh like surprise nature of it is gone, maybe doesn't play as well as it did the first time, which is too bad. I kind of like I went to a press screening though, and I kind of wanted to support it in the box office because holy crap, it's doing so bad. Like it's out of theaters already. It's coming out on
It's
DVD in like May. So
it's out of
yeah,
theaters.
yeah, like it's gone
You
from
gotta be
our city
fucking
anyway.
kidding me! I missed it.
It's gone. It's gone. It did that poorly. Like they couldn't keep it.
Well, I'm
hanging
gonna have
around
to
wasting
download
time.
it then, because like I want to see it and I'll probably buy it, but like that pisses me off.
Yeah, apparently they're putting a lot of good features in there, but it's not their fault. It's like the movie just didn't do well. Like
You
theaters
hear
had
that,
zero.
audience? It's your fault.
Yep,
You
you
ruined
did
my
this.
life for the last time.
Yep, you're kicking Nicolas Cage around. How can he afford payments on his castle, dude? Anyway, I think he sold that castle actually, which is too bad.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But anyway, so I watched that, and there's still fun to be had there, but maybe don't see it twice in 2 weeks or whatever. That's all I can say.
I would like to see it once in my lifetime. That's all I'm going for right now.
Yeah, that's worth doing. That's worth doing. What's next for you?
Next, I actually watched last night as I was kind of having some fever dreams there. So
Great.
it was kind of trippy. It was
Maybe a good
Jaws.
time to watch. Oh, okay.
So, like, I can swim. I don't necessarily like the ocean and water because I'm terrified because I know something's down there that humankind won't be able to deal with and it'll come up one day. Probably.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those movies, like, I love sharks. I think they're awesome, but they're kind of terrifying. And that movie holds up really well for being as old as it is. Like, the effects in it and everything look really, really good still. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of movies that build suspense, like, naturally, that don't just have, like, jump scares. And that movie is, like, the granddaddy of it. You don't even see the damn thing for most of it, and you just
That's
know it's
yeah.
there.
They kind of worked around their limitations with not being able to show the shark in a clever way.
And the whole time, like, maybe it's just because I'm older now. I hadn't seen it for a while, but, like, it's one of my favorite movies. But, like, it's one of my favorite non-horror horror movies, if you get what I mean. Sort of thing. But
Like a thriller?
I guess, maybe. Yeah, probably a thriller. Anyways, this came out, oh, what was it, like 40 years ago
75,
now?
30, like 6 years ago, coming up on that. Yeah.
36. Okay. So this came out about 36 years ago. And, like, maybe it's because I'm older, but I just keep thinking shooting scenes on the water must have been really technically difficult. Because,
Yeah.
like,
Like you mean the end
yeah.
stuff on the boat, or
Well, like, yeah, the whole, everything when they meet up with Quint and they, like, go on the boat probably was pretty hard to shoot. Like, the
yeah.
outside stuff.
I really like that latter half of the movie. Like the first stuff's great, but then like it just kind of becomes this weird buddy movie almost. They're all
It's a
kind of
complete,
fishing out there.
it's a completely different movie.
Yeah, and
To the
Richard
point
Dreyfuss
where,
is great.
like, the two characters that were in the beginning half seem to almost change in your eyes, like, right away. Like, Martin Brody seems more,
Yeah,
like, gruff than he did before, and so does Matt Hooper, which is
yeah,
Roy Schneider and Richard Dreyfuss, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I guess.
yeah. I really like Richard Dreyfuss in that one.
I really, really like Quint.
Robert Shaw, yeah, great cast,
Yeah.
really.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
I now own that. Like I was way up on it when I was a younger person. Like I bought the VHS special edition the day it came out.
Nice.
Like I waited outside Walmart and like ran in because for some reason in my brain I was like, there's gonna be a rush on these, man. They're gonna be hard to get because like Jaws, right? But like didn't really think, no, nobody cares anymore. That movie came out 25 years ago, but
People should
people
care.
should. I know, and now I have it on DVD and stuff. And yeah, no, Spielberg kicking off his awesomeness and good stuff. It's a good movie.
Was that his first movie?
No, that was kind of his first huge success. Like the there's a TV movie called Duel, which I quite enjoy, which is a dude kind of being terrorized by a truck driver. Um,
I've totally heard of that. I've been wanting to try to find
it's
it.
it's a cool little movie, and the other one I can think of is Sugarland Express, which is kind of
I've never heard of that one.
yeah, it's just kind of a couple on the run from the law because they want to, keep custody of their kid and whatever. Big car chases, police chasing them. It's all right. It's very very 70s though. So, Goldie Hawn is in it. William Atherton. But anyway,
Yeah.
no sense. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. I was trying to think of some clever thing about the 70s. Like, hey, you know what else came out in the 70s? The Crazies. But apparently it was kind of crappy. But the remake is really good.
Okay, you actually like the remake then?
Have you seen it or?
Yeah, I own it. I really like it too. I just know a lot of people that hate it.
All, what? All right. I was really
I don't
really
see
impressed
it
by it.
either. Yeah, I don't see why you would hate it either. It's really good, but I don't know. I've gotten used to, like I said, with my friends and people I hang out with, I got used to, like, them not agreeing with me on movies, like, at all, and thus I don't really take their opinions too seriously.
Okay. Just
Just
like
because,
I
like,
kind
we
of
don't have the same taste.
yeah. I really wanted to see it back when it came out, like early last year or whatever, but I couldn't. Like I guess similar thing. I couldn't get anyone else excited enough to go see it. So I finally got around to it just now, and I don't know. It's got some really cool, effective scenes in it. Kind of a smarter slant on a horror zombie kind of thing. It's not quite zombies. The virus basically turns you into like a killer, is all it is. Like you can still
Yeah.
use guns and stuff.
It's like 28 days later, zombie.
Yeah.
You just get
There's like
infected with rage.
yeah, but more coherent kind of like they very clearly still have memories and stuff. But then I guess like the main threat is really the military who's called in to clean it up, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like Half-Life or something. Which
You've
it
been
reminds me of
referencing a
Half-Life
lot of
bit.
things to Half-Life lately.
Yeah, yeah. The rival, like I mean, the rival inspired Half-Life, and the Crazies kind of cribbed a couple things from Half-Life. I think anyway. That helicopter bit, totally like come on, it's
Yeah.
obvious. But yeah, there's a scene where Timothy Olyphant gets stabbed in the hand that just gave me the willies all over the place, and I was like messed up how awesome that was. Like like how he has to pull his hand up to
What
free
part was that
himself.
at? Like, what area were they in?
Either back at their house, I think, and or no,
Like,
they're
before they go on the run?
yeah, before they're in the car driving, like they just kind of run into a couple crazies, and one of them stabs his hand and is about to mess him up bad, so he has to pull his hand up the blade, which was the worst. It was so gross,
Right,
but it
I
was awesome.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah, Timothy Olyphant, man, dude's tough, and it's cool. I don't
I
know.
like that
I
guy.
I enjoy that guy. And then yeah, the bit in the car wash is also pretty awesome. Good scene there, and cool ending too. I
Yeah, there's
nice,
some real
really,
tense scenes in that film.
yeah.
Like,
I
the whole
was
farmhouse part was pretty tense,
with the
where they're
oh
in the
yeah,
barn.
yeah. There's a lot of just really quality scenes. Like I guess some people were complaining like, oh man, this doesn't really do anything new, but it does everything really sharp. So it's great. I was really happy with it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then I watched Marmaduke.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, Marmaduke, are you okay?
I don't know. I had to break it up over like 4 viewing sessions to get through it all. It
Oh,
was like
that's the
80 minutes long.
worst.
I know. Like it was just like, no, I need to finish it, and it again. The Steve Coogan promise is the only reason because his voice is in it, and I don't know why. It makes me sad that to think that, but you know, he provides some voice talent for the dog Raisin, who he's a Dachshund, and he's from Europe, and he's really distinguished and smart.
Oh, man. Emma
It's such a
Stone
bad
provides a
movie.
voice.
Yeah, the
I'm
voice
gonna have
cast
to
is
see it now.
no, don't, just don't. Like, yeah, she plays the scrappy, mutt dog who secretly loves Marmaduke, but he
But
can't
it'll
see
be
it
part.
because he's way too preoccupied with Fergie.
I have to, though, because, like, I've pretty much seen everything she's been in, so I might
It
have to.
doesn't like none of it plays like it's basically like a really bad like just comedy, but then there's animals as opposed to
Okay,
people.
so there's this
Whoosh.
movie, and then there's
Yeah.
movies like Cats and Dogs or whatever.
Mhm.
Have you seen that?
I saw the first Cats and Dogs quite some time ago. I don't remember a
So
lot about
between
it.
that and this, which one would you prefer?
Probably Cats and Dogs because at least Jeff Goldblum's in that. You know, like in terms
Touche.
of the real people in this movie, there's like William H Macy is like the one guy of any note whatsoever. And I guess Judy Greer, if you're familiar, she's in it a bit. The main guy though is some guy I've never heard of named Lee Pass or something, Lee Pace, and he's
Okay.
completely straight laced, whatever. It's just an awful movie. There's no sense really getting into it because of course it is. If you've seen anything about it at all, it's obviously not going to be funny. It's just depressing thinking there's talented people involved in any way. Because I don't hate Owen Wilson and like Christopher Mintz-Plasse, that guy. He's been in some okay stuff.
Yeah, but then you
Kick-Ass
have
was
George
good.
Lopez and
Yeah, George Lopez makes a
Fergie, I
lot of
guess.
sense being in there, and Fergie, yeah, and Kiefer Sutherland plays a dog. Sam Elliott is in it too as a dog, and
What are they doing? Like,
Chupadogra. Do you get it? Chupadogra.
yeah, it's like a
Chupa.
play on
No.
words.
uh, yeah. Uh, oh man. some of the worst stuff I've seen on film in a while, and it made me think though just about like how thankless that job is. Like if you have that script to make into a movie, there's literally nothing you can do. Like you're sunk already. There's
Right, but
no
like,
way to
why would
turn
you
that
make it?
around. Because some studio thinks it's gonna work out and they're paying you money. Like
What
that's
studio
it.
released this?
I don't know. I hold on. Somebody, just a second. Maybe it'll say.
20th Century Fox Film Corporation.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah. The comics, of course, weren't funny, and the movie just we're done. We're done talking about Marmaduke. It's really really bad. What else did you see?
Um, that was it.
Okay, um, I saw Hellraiser.
I really, really love that movie.
Okay, cool. I'd never seen it. I didn't really know what to expect. Like I've heard Pinhead mentioned in the same sentence as like Jason Voorhees and Freddy
So
Krueger and
yeah,
stuff.
he's gonna be at the Calgary Comic Expo this year.
Oh, Doug Bradley or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. I was kind of surprised that this movie is not like really a slasher movie at all. Like he's not just terrorizing people.
No,
Really,
it's not at all. He's not a slasher at all.
yeah, he's one of several like Cenbites, I think they're called.
Cenobites, yeah, and basically
Cenobites,
they're just
yeah.
like they
Weird,
deal out
like
pain and stuff.
sadomasochistic demon-ish kind of guys.
Right.
Um, yeah, just cool old school gore and like effects and stuff. Like low budget movie, but the grisliness of it still kind of plays for the most part.
There's one
Like
scene that still bothers me every time I watch it, and it's when he's helping her move and he gets his hand caught on a
oh man,
nail
he
sticking
scrapes
out.
his hand on that nail. It's so savage. Yeah, yeah. There's some good gnarly bloody gross stuff in it. Like it grossed me out a couple times, and it's like 24 years old or whatever. So
And of course, the
effective.
end.
With what, that weird creature, or I'm trying to think. Oh,
Well, no,
the
kind of
fold
his
back
end.
thing. I'm trying to think, like how the end is the beginning. That thing.
Yeah,
'Cause that was
kind of
kind of
how,
cool.
pretty much like when Pinhead starts like throwing his chains around and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay.
His like
I
face and
remember
stuff
what
like
you're
that.
saying about dude getting ripped up, and then he says Jesus wept for some reason, just because it's creepy, and then he explodes, and you're just like, what?
Doesn't he? I
Yeah.
can't remember. Doesn't he like laugh too?
Yeah, it's weird because he's experiencing like pain that is somewhat pleasurable at the same time. It's
But see,
creepy.
this is a type of movie that, like, if you like this, you probably will like Event Horizon.
Yeah,
Because
and
in
I did.
many
I own that
ways,
movie.
it has the same feel.
Kinda. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I was expecting a totally whatever movie. I don't know what compelled me to watch it this week, but I totally did, and I was pretty happy about it.
You should look into watching the second one, because it's kind of a continuation.
Is it terrible though? Because I've heard pretty bad things about most of the sequels.
It's not as good, and
Okay,
the rest are
almost
terrible.
unwatchable. Yeah,
But
I've
if you
heard
want
really bad
to
things about
laugh,
it too.
the third one has a Cenobite that, like, throws CDs, or, like,
Okay.
discs of some sort.
Like maybe I expected that level of cheesiness or whatever, and the movie took itself a lot more seriously than I was expecting. Um, and just kind of the Little Shop of Horrors thing where you got to lure people back to your house so you can feed it to the awful monster. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff is in there too, and yeah, it was good. Then I saw Holy Rollers, which is a Jesse Eisenberg movie about like Hasidic Jews who smuggled ecstasy in the early late 90s.
That's
Um,
based on a true story, right?
yeah, it's based on a true story. Really low key, kind of low energy movie. I think I've said that several times today, but it's especially true here. It's a independent movie, so kind of small scale and stuff, but decent acting. I don't know. Um, oh, and yeah, then the Lynch marathon continued with Wild at Heart. Have you seen that one?
Okay, no, I haven't seen that one.
It's not my favorite of his at all. But it has some okay moments in it.
And
Willem
Nicolas
Dafoe
Cage.
especially, and Nicolas Cage is in it, and he's super energetic and crazy, for the most part. But yeah, Willem Dafoe as Bobby Peru is pretty great as just this super disgusting criminal guy. He's a
Nice.
pretty memorable character. And yeah, a lot of weird like Wizard of Oz references for kind of no reason. Like like most of them have kind of like most David Lynch stuff has kind of a weird, not super coherent plot at the heart of it. But this one just seems less inspired than some of the other ones, I guess. I don't know. That's just maybe it's just me, but it's not one of my favorites. Um Oh yeah, then I tried to watch Lost Highway, but I realized the Canadian DVD is terrible. It's like full screen. So I'm going to have to look into getting a better copy of that.
Wow, is it?
Yeah, the one I
Hold
got,
on, let
like
me. I'm gonna check mine. Hold on.
there was a release in 2008 that was widescreen anamorphic. So if you have that one, you're good. If you got the one from '03 though, you're boned cuz it's terrible. It's like really bad quality. So I'm going to find a good one before I bother watching that again. I've seen all of these before. I'm just kind of revisiting them. But
I have Pan and Scan.
yeah, that's the one. That's too bad. Yeah, that's how I saw it the first time too, which might have contributed to my less than amazing experience. Though I did remember liking parts of it. And then I revisited arguably the deep end of the David Lynch pool, Inland Empire,
Okay.
which I'd seen before like 4 years ago, and I didn't like it at all. But I've grown considerably as a person and as a filmmaker, a film viewer rather. I'm not a filmmaker.
Yeah. Yet.
Um, yeah, maybe. Anyway, more on that later. Not today. And yeah, I got so much more out of it this time, mainly because like in this film theory class, we've done a lot of reading about like color theory and like psychology and viewer and like film relationship kind of stuff. And this movie kind of evoked a lot of that in a weird way. Still super hard to watch though. It is 3 hours long, and you feel most of that time weighing down on you after a while. Have you seen it?
No,
Because
I haven't.
yeah, okay. I don't know like how to even approach like it's 3 hours long. The movie starts in a pretty coherent manner with Laura Dern playing an actress who might get this big role and stuff. Um, but then and then it quickly kind of takes on a meta layer kind of thing where it's like, is this the role or is this real kind of thing? Kind of like a Tristram Shandy kind of thing. But then
Right.
there's another more stuff going on where just there's this Polish side of the movie where like there was this movie that was going to be made before. It's impossible to talk about this movie without sounding ridiculous. So let me just say, it the movie is going at a pretty like conventional kind of way, like a Mulholland Drive or something, like where it's weird, but it's possible to just kind of follow it in a straightforward way.
Yep.
And then it just goes crazy for like an hour and a half before kind of coming back at the end. So you're just completely disoriented and you don't really know what is exactly happening for a huge chunk of time. And the first time I watched it at about the 2 hour mark in the movie, I was just like really tired of it, and I kind of paused and ate supper and like broke it up and whatever. This time I was like resolved to not hit pause ever and not check my watch ever and just watch it and take all of it in, all of it. And
And it weighed on you.
yeah, it's a tough sit, even like a diehard David Lynch fan, like it is just slow going at times, but nothing you're seeing is like not compelling in a weird way, but it's just like there's so much of it and your brain is just so tired at some point of trying to even interpret it in a way, so you're just kind of letting it wash over you, and it's just weird. It is an interesting film experience. I can now I now understand the group of people that go around saying like, no, this is David Lynch's most important movie ever. This is his best movie. Like those people don't seem insane now, but I don't necessarily agree with them. I like Mulholland
Okay.
Drive a lot.
Yeah, I really like Mulholland Drive.
Like that one I own and love and cherish and watch fairly regularly. This movie is just like suffocating crazy. Laura Dern is kind of amazing in it though, like considering just how nonsensical her part must have seemed on paper. Like it reading behind the scenes, like David Lynch was literally just kind of coming up with ideas for like little short scenes and stuff that didn't necessarily tie together into any overarching story. They were just kind of thematically related. So it plays really strange. It is bizarre, and it's him messing around with the digital stuff. So it's kind of got a weird, loose and documentary kind of look to it. I don't know. It's hard to recommend without like a bunch of asterisks beside it or whatever, but it's
Like, if
worth.
you're a Lynch fan, check it out.
If you're a diehard Lynch fan, like you should probably like give it a look because there's a lot of interesting stuff to dig through here. But it is hard. It is a tough movie, man. I don't know. But I can now confidently say I like it. So
Yeah, I should probably check it out. I mean, Mulholland Drive's the only Lynch film I've seen, like, after the year 2000.
yeah. Like he's done a lot of short film stuff and stuff on his website and things that I have.
But, like, all the stuff I have and, like, watch every now and then is, like, Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Dune, Blue Velvet, all in the same time, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of late 70s, early 80s.
Twin Peaks, aw yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna watch season 1 again, not necessarily 2, just because it's not as good. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been pretty recent when I watched that. But anyway, how about that movie Paul? 'Cause we've both
Yeah,
seen
I
that.
mean, it's my name, so has a lot to live up to, and unfortunately I didn't feel it did.
Okay, I had probably a better experience then. I wasn't expecting a whole lot because of critics kind of dishing it, like hating it and stuff. Well, not hating it, but kind of saying pretty mediocre things. So I went in with a low bar, and then I was like, yeah, it's okay.
Okay, I can see that, but for all the, like, people behind this, it should have been so much better.
You're not wrong. Like, like looking at it like a year ago when it was like popping up on IMDb, and it's like, holy crap, Greg Motola's working with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and like Bill Hader and stuff on this comedy. This is gonna be amazing, and it's not amazing.
The best
It's
part
okay.
is Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, she's pretty funny. Just random cursing. It's not bad. Kind of cheap jokes maybe, but they work. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, Paul is Seth Rogen.
Do you like Seth Rogen?
I'm starting to wonder because he seems to be the same person in everything he's in.
All right. I think I liked that Green Hornet quite a bit, so I think I'm on a positive Seth Rogen kick right now. So yeah.
That's fair. He has good comic timing, but, like, Jesus Christ, he needs to do something different.
He's an alien in this movie. How much different can you get?
Well, you know, he's him as an alien.
I know. He's a oafish, cursy, pot smoking alien. So yeah,
Right.
I see what you mean. um, I don't. Yeah, how about all those Spielberg references?
Sorry, how about what?
All the Spielberg references, like, did that work for you? Or because like I was amused by them, but then Ryan, movie going buddy, was like, man, that's super lazy. Like they just reference movies, and that's the joke. And
Yeah, because they don't
right.
reference them good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it just seems like, hey, you know this? Well, here it is. It's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I like my references to be a little more thought out and maybe have actually something to do with, like, the situation they're put in.
Yeah,
Not just like,
there was definitely kind of almost a Family Guy approach.
not
To
like
some
how
of
we're
it.
just talking now and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, do or do not, there is no try. Like, that's lazy and stupid.
I remember that from the Star Wars. That's cool.
Exactly.
Hey, smile, you son of a bitch. Get it from the Jaws. We were talking about that earlier.
I think, like, that was the cantina music they play in the bar, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
They
probably
just-
the most, that one actually got a smile out of me.
Yeah.
I feel bad, I kind of didn't laugh at all this whole movie.
Okay. I had some chuckles throughout. I don't know. I guess I liked it. I'm gonna say I liked it overall.
And
But,
you know
I
what,
can
that's
see where
totally
you're coming
fair
from.
because it's not a bad way to spend some time out at the theater. I
Hmm.
I wanted so much more because of the people
Yeah.
behind it.
like especially the Simon Pegg Nick Frost team, like that's been magic before,
Well, it
but
makes you wonder, like, if Edgar Wright had done this, do you think it would have been as, like, a lot better? Because I think so.
maybe, but I don't dislike Greg Matola. Like
I
I
don't
like
either, but
Adventureland. Like you
I
just
think
mean
he was
he's
trying to
maybe
go
not
for a super bad feel with this, and, like, it
right.
didn't work out.
Like he's not as well suited to this kind of like there's some action elements in it too. Yeah, I don't disagree necessarily, but I
Okay, I'll let,
I went away feeling okay.
I'll say it's a very okay movie, and if okay is not good enough for $12 or $13 of your money, then don't go see it in theaters.
Okay. I thought Jason Bateman was maybe a little weird, like, cause like they make him play super straight laced, kind of like just
It's
angry,
weird seeing
intense
him do
agent.
that.
Yeah, cause he's usually kind of goofy, and he's not allowed to do that for most of the movie here, which was kind of strange.
Like, it was weird
Oh,
because it felt like everyone was holding back, like, everything that could have made it good. Like, Bill Hader seemed really restrained for Bill Hader.
for Bill
Maybe,
Hader,
like,
yeah,
it,
he had a couple moments that made me smile, but
it almost makes you wonder if it's the writing, like the script, that did it.
which was by like Simon and Nick, so
So, like,
yeah.
how,
I
right?
almost wish they maybe punched it up a bit or something.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Because even their characters seemed really low-key. Well, I wasn't a big fan of, like, the whole ongoing joke, like, hey, are they gay? I don't know, like, there's just so many little things that bothered me. It's like, yeah, we get it. They're nerds and they might be gay. Like,
hmm
haha, get over yourself. Do something funny.
Yeah, like they kind of had a similar gag in Hot Fuzz, but it was really understated, you know? Like them kind of sitting on the couch staring longingly into each
And that
other's eyes because they're
and
talking
that
about
made it
movies.
so much better, though.
Yeah, whereas this one kind of hits the nail on the head or whatever, and it just
Well,
doesn't.
they actually say many times, like, are you two gay?
Yeah, yeah, and it's there was another running gag, wasn't there? With
Um,
oh, I'm trying to think.
oh,
Oh, never
the
mind.
three
It's
tits.
not three tits. Yeah, awesome.
That was
That
kind of
comes up a
funny.
couple times. Yeah, yeah, that I remember that. Yeah, and oh, and the titles thing, which they kind of abandoned. Like whenever they bring up Jeffrey Tambor's character, all the books they list are different every time, which was kind of mildly amusing to me. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it was yeah. Yeah, I guess overall not a must see at all. If you're a big fan of these guys, you might
I
like it,
think you'll
but
be
you'll probably be a
disappointed.
little bit disappointed. Yeah, fair enough. Like it's definitely no Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz or anything. But
I don't know. It's hard to recommend to see in theaters just because of the price of admission.
yeah, decent silly road movie though. I'd say I don't
But
know.
not played up nearly enough to make it good.
Yeah, like I have no need to see it again until it's out on like DVD or something.
And even then,
Even then it'll be yeah, like it'll be like
probably for the
hey, if there's like
features.
a group of people, maybe because I think that could play to an audience of sorts, but yeah,
Yeah.
me by myself, I don't know. And I feel silly now, but I forgot. I watched Thelma and Louise, and it's okay.
Okay.
It has a good ending. I don't know. It's a really weird movie for Ridley Scott to have done, but anyway.
I kind of want
Oh.
to take a quick turn here. We
Mhm.
talk about movies a lot, right? And, like,
Oh yeah,
apparently
TV.
cats and stuff.
Okay.
But we also kind of talk about TV, maybe starting
Yep.
now. So
Okay.
this
I can
week,
bring up a TV show too.
I've watched almost every single episode of Community.
Oh, perfect, because I did that too. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I
because it
I
was on
rewatched
Netflix.
like all of season one. So yeah,
That
yeah, it's
show
on
is
Netflix too.
really good.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. How do you feel about season two though? Like, did you watch it like
Um,
sequentially, kind of?
like, how do I feel about it in terms of, like, with season one?
Yeah, because like I saw most of season one as it aired, and then I've been watching season two, and then I went back to season one, and that contrast kind of stuck out to me. But
Season
I don't
two's
know.
not as good.
I okay, I agree, but I don't dislike it, to be clear. It's
I
just
don't either.
there's a lot less like big hits, you know? Like there's a
Yeah,
handful of episodes in Community season 1 that are like some of the best TV around right now. I don't
totally.
know about season 2. Season 2
So
has some good stuff though, like the conspiracy episode. Do you see
I
that
don't
one?
know. I don't know. I can't. What was the conspiracy?
Well, it kind of riffs on like the Departed ending with like everyone shooting each other, like
Oh,
a
okay.
lot.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Okay, it's really funny. But anyway, sorry. Okay,
To
speak now.
avoid stuff like that, let's talk more about one and two than two,
Okay,
just as a
okay.
general. So, season, I don't know what it was in season two. I, oh, I don't know. We won't get into that right now. What do you think of Joel McHale?
He's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was, like, at the beginning, when you first start that show, you think he's going to be kind of annoying, but, like, he really comes into his own by, like, the second episode, I felt.
Yeah, he's kind of douchey or whatever, but you kind of start enjoying his snarkiness, or at least I did after a while. Yeah,
But I think it's
it's
the whole thing with all TV shows that they think of something one way, they air the pilot, and then however people react, they'll change it, like,
hmm
right away.
Oh,
So
so
I think he was supposed
I
to be the
actually
douchey guy.
sorry, I haven't seen the pilot in quite a while actually, so I don't know if it like I didn't watch that one. I watched episode 2 onwards because I watched the pilot like 6 months ago or something.
Well, the reason
Are
I
you
bring
saying?
it up. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, are you just saying there's like a radical character shift between the two episodes, or?
Completely, and I think the reason for that, I think he was probably supposed to be, like, the douchey guy that's always trying to get with Britta, but, like,
Hmm.
maybe it didn't play so well because it's kind of like, hey, you just made every other character ever in TV. So, like, it seems like right away that he changed his attitude and he likes being part of the group by, like, the fourth episode, and, like, him and Britta are friends, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I really enjoy how self-aware the show is about its own kind of jokes and stuff. I don't know. It's really funny,
And
especially
Abed is the
Abed.
best.
Yeah, just kind of
Abed?
commenting on.
Abed?
Yeah, like there's a joke where he's just kind of like, I kind of laid heavy on the movie references last time, so I'm just gonna like play it low this one, and he's
And he
barely in
totally
that
does.
episode. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's pretty funny.
It's just funny because, like, when he does the voiceovers and stuff like that, the one
Voiceovers?
episode he, like, does a voiceover talking about Jeff's, like, ego. It's like,
Oh,
he just
okay.
looks at him, it's like, right, no more voiceovers or whatever. I don't know, it just does a lot of, like, the conventional things that, like, like, movies and TV shows do, but, like, it knows, so, yeah, I don't know. He's the character that makes everything kind of come together, where they do something cheesy like a normal um, television show or a movie would, but then he brings light to it because, like, hey, we know we're doing this, and usually it's in a way that's really actually funny, and there's a lot of movie references.
Yeah, and just like the chemistry of the whole cast is pretty awesome.
It's
Like
really pretty good.
Troy is pretty awesome too. Um, season 2, like eventually Chevy Chase kind of takes a weird turn. I don't. You'll see it when it happens,
I
but
kind of don't like
it's.
Chevy Chase. Like, I like him in this. I don't like Chevy
Mhm.
Chase himself, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of grew up on some Chevy Chase stuff, so I don't hate him
Like
like some
Fletch.
people do. I've seen Fletch a couple times.
Fletch
I
is,
don't
like,
know.
the only thing I like him in. That's why I bring it up.
Oh, okay. I meant like the vacation movies and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yo, come on, vacation, right? Christmas
So,
vacation.
I've
Alright.
been, I've asked, like, everyone that's into Community, so I should probably ask you.
Mhm.
Annie or Britta?
Oh, Annie, because it's Alison Brie, and
Totally.
she's
Okay.
awesome, yeah. But like, I don't hate Britta or anything. It's just
Nope. Me neither.
like, come on, yeah, okay. She's in Mad Men as well. I'm sure you're familiar.
I am.
But yeah, yeah, great show, and Ken
Um,
Jeong, pretty great.
yeah, he's really good. Every time he's on, he's pretty funny.
Yeah. On that paintball episode.
Oh my god. Like, one of my friends came over the other day and she was catching up, and then I came back from the computer while she was watching, and like that part was coming up. I'm like, oh dude, the best part in like anything is coming up. And then like it has that like kind of stereotypical, almost racist like ching chow music as he
Oh,
walks
okay.
in.
It's like a clear John Woo kind of shout out or
Totally.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he walks in with the paintball, and like has the toothpick or whatever in his mouth.
Yeah.
That was just
Yeah.
amazing.
Great action movie parody kind of stuff. And the gangster episode is pretty great too. A lot of
That's
Scorsese
probably my favorite of
references.
that
Yeah,
season.
that's fair. Just yeah, great stuff. I'm really
Like when
glad it's on
Layla's
Netflix.
playing, and like he's getting back at all of them.
Wha- Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that is pretty great.
Because I mean that, like the whole like Goodfellas feel.
Yeah, shredded up backpacks and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, do you want to briefly mention some news stories or yeah, maybe?
Yeah. So I don't know where to start. Well, we talked last week about Akira because I was watching it. Well,
Okay,
I watched it. I wasn't like in the act of watching it or anything.
during
So
the show, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, they're making a live action film of it, and this has kind of been rumored for a while. I guess it was confirmed, maybe now. Yeah, do you know?
I
No.
That's my understanding, yeah, that it's been
Yeah,
kind of
and
in
it's
the
being
works for
made
a while.
by the Hughes brothers, apparently, and they
Oh, okay.
got a
Oh yeah,
script. They
okay.
got a
I did
script
hear
from the
that.
guy that does the Harry Potter films,
Okay.
Steve Kloves, I guess.
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't
Yep.
know. Anyways, there was some talk a long time ago about Zac Efron was going to be one of the lead roles. Apparently, that's kind of been squashed, and instead, they've named some of the people they're looking at to and like have asked. Um, do you remember these characters at all? Because it's been a while since you saw the anime, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. There's Crazy Psychic Dude and the dude who has that motorcycle.
Right. So Crazy Psychic Dude is Tetsuo, and the
Hmm.
people they're looking at for him are Robert Pattinson, Andrew Garfield, and James McAvoy. I
Okay.
hate to say it, Robert Pattinson might be okay in that role. Like
Really?
he has that look, like pretty. He has that look that like I think Tetsuo would have.
Okay. Just
I would like Andrew
like
Garfield.
of those actors, like probably the one I've seen the most of and have fondness for is James McAvoy.
Okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, like he really turned it around and wanted, and I want to see him in.
And don't get me wrong, I hate Robert Pattinson, but I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, okay. That I mean, you have to now because I mean Twilight is pretty terrible, but he was okay in that Harry Potter movie, right? I mean, back before we knew,
I haven't
you
seen
know,
any
where.
Harry Potter movies.
Oh, okay, never mind then. He was okay. He was all right. But anyway, okay.
Okay,
So
Crazy
Rob Pattinson is
Motorcycle
your
Dude
favorite. Mhm.
is
Mhm.
Canada. Canada,
Okay.
they're looking at Garrett Hedlund, Michael Fassbender, Chris Pine,
Okay.
Justin Timberlake, and Joaquin
Okay.
Phoenix.
Huh. I
Thoughts?
like Chris Pine quite a bit. Um. Yeah, that's my favorite choice for that.
Yeah, out of
Probably.
those, I think Justin Timberlake is the worst
I like
for
Justin
that
Timberlake
role.
just fine, but I don't think he would fit in quite well. Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
that would be a terrible role for him. I agree with you. Chris Pine should get that role.
And I like Joaquin just fine, but I don't know. Like since he's been gone for quite a while, I don't know. I need to see I'm Still Here. I've decided. I want to see what that's all about.
I kind of do too.
Yeah. But okay. So that's happening.
That is happening. Do
Okay.
you? Am I going to go through all of them, or do you have any?
No, no, I can bounce some of these around.
Okay, well,
Apparently
yep,
people have been like people who worked on it have been talking about making a sequel to The Fighter.
right.
And David O. Russell is apparently also on board and is thinking about some ideas that he might want to write into a full-on screenplay. That hasn't like been confirmed yet or whatever, but there's just a lot of interest from the cast, I guess, into going back into that story.
So I'm wondering, where would they go?
I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's actually into boxing, and apparently Mickey Ward was actually involved in a series of pretty historic bouts with a pretty popular Canadian boxer some years ago. Like they were just like a series of like 12 round
Was it Bear Hugger?
fights. I don't know. I was baffled by this news because I don't know anything about the world of boxing really.
I don't either. It was a reference. Yeah.
Oh, Bear Hugger.
Punch Out.
This is a Punch Out thing? Okay. Because I was about to make a Punch Out reference, which would have been weird because it would have been a response to a Punch Out reference, which would seem redundant. But anyway, like Little Mac or something. You say Little Mac, and I know what you're talking about. But it wasn't Bear Hugger Super Punch Out?
Yeah, Super Punch Out.
Yeah, I played more the first one, so it would have gone right over my head. And in fact,
that's totally fair.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, another, those characters back again. Continuing the story of Mickey Ward's boxing career. What do you think?
I'm for it. I really liked The Fighter. I could totally see it being good. The Fighter was interesting because it's one of those movies that, like, I don't remember Cinderella Man having the same effect, but it's one of those movies where you, like, go in and when they're doing the fights, even though you kind of know the outcome, like, it's still interesting, You're like, come on, you're almost getting out of your seat, sort of thing. And, like, not being a huge sports guy. Like, I'm kind of into hockey because I'm Canadian. I mean, they take away your citizenship if you're not. So,
okay.
Not being into sports very often, I don't feel like the way I think a lot of people do when they watch a game and they're getting all into it. And I like it when movies can make you feel that way. And I think it would be great to relive that. Maybe this time in the theater.
Okay. I'm just trying to think how they could make it not a very conventional boxing movie, but maybe they just don't need to, just figure out.
I think it would help if either one of us knew anything about boxing, or more specifically, Mickey Ward.
Yeah, maybe. Like maybe the story is already really compelling, and we just don't know. I don't know.
That's totally valid. It probably is.
We may find out. But yeah, isn't O. Russell and Wahlberg working on Uncharted and stuff right now?
Are they? I don't think they're working on it yet. They haven't said they started.
Oh, okay.
Because that's not supposed to come out for 2 or 3 years yet.
Okay, I'm fine with that being postponed. That sounds like an awful idea.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We didn't discuss it earlier, but I just kind of want to bring it up because it tails kind of nicely with our David Lynch talk. Apparently, they've been trying to make Dune again, and they just decided that won't happen. So
good.
Yeah.
We don't need another Dune.
I know. Like I saw that first Dune, and David Lynch hated working on that project too. So it's not,
it kind of shows.
Yeah. Like I appreciate it now because like you can kind of see him working with his people and meeting like Kyle MacLachlan and stuff, and those relationships panning out later in Twin Peaks and stuff. Like there's a couple other cast members in there too. But as a movie, it's kind of terrible. Like it's just it makes no sense, and it's just So yeah, they've been trying to figure that out, and they've decided not to. So hey, what else did you want to mention? Was there?
As you know or may not know, I don't know. I'm a big fan of zombie stuff, zombies and media.
Okay.
So this guy named Max Brooks, that's actually Mel Brooks' son, I believe.
Okay.
He's done a few books that have become kind of popular. The first one was called The Zombie Survival Guide, and it was basically like a novel written like a survival guide of how to like deal with a zombie outbreak.
Uh-huh.
The follow-up book to that was a book called World War Z, and what it is basically like what it is a bunch of different stuff that like happened when the zombie outbreak happened, because this takes place in the world where it actually happened already. Mm-hmm. And these are people recounting like stuff that's happened. Do you know what I mean?
Like looking back on how things got this bad or whatever.
Not even that, like more actiony, like war stories.
Oh, okay. Okay.
but from the zombie apocalypse. Well, anyways, they were planning to make a movie about it, and it's apparently going to be PG-13 because that's the only way they could get investors to actually care about it. Because they don't think they're even going to have enough money to make it. Period.
That's so weird. Because, I mean, Zombieland did okay, and that was R-rated. Why not? I don't know. Zombies kind of need to be R-rated to be interesting, don't they?
I completely agree. I think so.
I'm just trying to think, where is Walking Dead in terms of TV ratings? Is it mature, 17? Because it's pretty violent at times, but
it's mature.
Okay. That's an okay level, and that's probably kind of tame in some spots. There's some gross stuff in it, I guess. Alright.
Kind of harking back to Walking Dead, wasn't, who was it is going to be writing an episode for the next season?
Stephen King is
Stephen King, yeah,
in talks to write an episode for either an episode in season 2 or 3. So
I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, we were discussing that guy's got some cool ideas, so hopefully that works out.
Yep.
So you're just kind of pessimistic that World War Z will be interesting now, or what?
Well, the problem is, how do you make something PG-13 when the whole premise is war stories from the zombie war? So it has to have action and gore, and yet it's going to be suitable for children 13 years and up. So, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm skeptical, at best.
Yeah, it seems fair. I guess the last story we talked about was the Cleopatra remake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I care. David Fincher doing it, though, it'll probably be pretty good.
Well, I mean, he's in talks right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he does not end up directing this, but who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But I mean, Angelina Jolie rumored as Cleopatra. I think that would be pretty good.
Okay. I'm just baffled by this whole notion, because the original 1964 film with Elizabeth Taylor is widely regarded as just kind of this big, totally unnecessary, over lavish piece of junk. So why revisit that?
Because it's an interesting story.
Is it? She was a queen in Egypt. I don't know. I guess, to be fair, I did just watch
started
a movie
wars
about a
and
queen
stuff
in France, so I guess so.
Yeah, but you watched a retarded queen.
Well, yeah.
Actually,
right.
no, that's offensive to retards.
No, she was just, dude. She was part of high society, and all society teaches you is to just sit around and eat food and kind of live lavishly. So it's not her fault. She was not allowed to express herself.
I don't know
okay
what I
movie.
can say to that. That'll be. I don't know. We'll skip past it.
Okay, fine. So yeah, David Fincher's in talks to direct this. Although the article kind of states that he's kind of got a lot on his plate right now with Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and perhaps the sequel, Played with Fire, coming up pretty soon. So
yeah.
Who knows?
What do you think of them remaking those?
I think it's great because I don't, I'm not one of those subtitles kind of thing. But I just kind of don't care about the story. But I like David Fincher a lot, so I'd probably rather see his take on it at this point because I have no idea who.
That's fair. I just don't like Daniel Craig very much.
Really? I'm kind of looking forward to Cowboys vs. Aliens or whatever.
I'm really looking forward to that movie.
He looks kind of perfect for that. Just kind of angry and sullen. I think he might play out quite well in that. And he's despite Quantum of Solace being awful, he's a pretty good James Bond. Right?
No, I think he's a terrible James Bond, but we don't have to get into that.
All right, fine.
Why, do you want to get into that?
No, it's all right. We've gone on for a while.
Is there anything you're looking forward to coming up?
Yeah, next week or something?
Because I'm looking forward to Sucker Punch.
I will see Sucker Punch. That's actually kind of works well with the zombie World War Z thing because that's PG-13, and I don't know how I feel.
Yeah,
about that.
I don't know either, but I mean, I don't know, Sucker Punch. It looks good.
It looks stylish and ridiculous, and it's not based on anything I care about. Cough, Watchmen, cough. So Zack Snyder will probably be, perfect for it. Slow motion slicing up things is fine in this
It
universe.
just looks like a fun time.
Yeah. And it's not gonna open here probably soon enough, but I really want to see Super, the James Gunn directed
Yeah, I saw
Rainn
you
Wilson and
posting
Ellen
about that.
Page. Yeah, it just buzz out of South by Southwest or whatever is it's like crazy over the top violent, which sounds interesting. And just people being vigilantes, kind of like people in my circle are like dismissing it as just like, oh, it's just like Kick Ass, but I liked Kick Ass quite a bit, and Mark Millar has some kind of dumb ideas too, so maybe this one will not have those. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Rainn
It should
Wilson's
be
in
fun.
it.
Yeah, and source code by Duncan Jones or whatever, the Moon guy. So I'm interested in that, and I'm probably gonna get a chance at reviewing Hannah, the Joe
Oh, I
Wright
want to see
action
that.
film. I can say with confidence that the score by the Chemical Brothers is fantastic because I have it and I've listened to it like 6 times or something.
They
So
release it?
yeah, it's out now, and just by how energy the soundtrack is, there's probably gonna be a lot of action scenes in the movie. Like there's one just called like Car Chase, so that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have high hopes for that one, despite not really liking any Joe Wright movies so far. But I'm gonna say that's probably more of a thing with the subject matter he's tackled so far. Not enough movies about kids who are also soldiers and
Killers.
assassins. Yeah, so that's more my interest.
I just hope she's good.
Saoirse Ronan or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was pretty good in Lovely Bones. So
I never saw Lovely Bones.
it's not a very good movie, but I kind of like things about it. But anyway, we've talked for a while. Any closing thoughts on anything you're looking forward to? I shouldn't be so selfish with that question. What are you looking forward to, Paul?
Sorry, my throat's really starting to catch up with me. Like I said, Sucker Punch. I really want to see Hobo with a Shotgun a lot. I'm a huge fan of Grindhouse. Even the crappy movies, there's something to love about them. I think that's it. Something's coming out this week, as in, I guess today, because it's Tuesday, out on video. I can't remember what, though. You probably know.
This week was like Skyline and The Tourist.
Yeah, I want to see Skyline.
Okay, I've heard nothing but terrible things. But
me too. That's why I kind of want to just rent it.
Okay, like I was going to see it in theaters, and then at the last minute we decided to see Morning Glory, which was probably a good decision because that movie's pretty good. For a romantic comedy. But yeah, I've heard pretty bad things about Skyline.
About Skyline?
Yeah, like it's just supposed to be like people trapped in a building who aren't good at acting while stuff is happening far, far away from them. I don't know.
That's kind of too bad, eh?
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe it's at least cheesy bad in a way.
Doesn't The Tourist come out as well?
Yeah, which is supposed to be pretty terrible as well.
But
despite its Golden Globe nominations.
Anyways, a week from now, I'm going to be pretty excited because I'll finally be able to see Tangled, and I'll actually be able to watch in 3D, I guess, if I want to. I don't know why that would matter, but... And Black Swan comes out next week, so pretty happy about that.
Yeah, Tangled's just fun-filled, fantastic stuff. Black Swan is upsetting and kind of, I don't know, but we've talked about it.
I really like it.
They're very different movies. If you're gonna, I don't know how to recommend it. Like, you've seen both. Well, I know you haven't seen Tangled. So, are you gonna watch Black Swan again right away? Is what you're saying, or?
Probably.
So maybe watch Tangled after that, just to clear away the gloom. It's just
that's actually a pretty good idea.
It's a really charming movie. I was not prepared for that either. But anyway, okay, so that's what's happening in the future. We'll talk about those and other films next week. Oh man, that doesn't sound right. Here on Movie Monks, like that's not it. We're the Movie Monks. We'll talk about it. Catch you later. Bye.
See ya.